being here. Can I please have a motion and a second to reconvene the public meeting?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Can we please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence for our servicemen and women? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Can the district clerk please call the roll?
Marisol Mallon, President.
Here.
April Natelli, Vice President.
Here.
Jackie DiLorenzo, Trustee.
Present.
Sal Parisi, Trustee.
Here.
Melissa Torgrosa, Trustee.
Present.
Michael Ibrahim, Student Board Member. Dr. Joseph Senimore.
Yes, he's on his way.
Okay. Dr. Joseph Senimore, Superintendent.
Present.
Robert Hauser, Assistant Sup for Business and Operations.
Present.
Reza Kolahifer, Assistant Sup for Admin and Personnel.
In the House.
Christina Poppy, Assistant Sup for Curriculum and Instruction.
Present.
John Allen, Assistant to the Superintendent.
Present.
Lori O'Hara, Executive Director, Professional Development, Compliance Services, and Special Ed.
Present.
Anthony Fasano, District Attorney.
Present.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I please have a motion and a second to approve the minutes of the May 8, 2026, May 26, 2026, and the June 2nd, 2026 meetings?
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye. So we have a full house. We have some special people to recognize. I know some of you are heading out to another special event, so we will get this underway very quickly. I will pass the floor to Mr. Mallory and Ms. Christina Poppy.
Testing. Good evening. Thank you so much to the Board of Education for inviting our department here tonight and keeping tradition with celebrating our county championship teams, our county champions, our state qualifiers, and maybe even some state champions to be. We'll find out this weekend. Thank you for all your support, and thank you to the central office administration for all their support as well. 60 seconds or less. We're going to give you a quick summary. Spring season, amazing. 11 scholar athlete teams. That means the roster had 75% or more, carry a 90 average. 258 scholar athletes, 2 league championship teams, 3 county championship teams, which we're going to honor tonight, boys and girls track and baseball. 7 state qualifiers for the boys and girls track team. Unfortunately, the county dinner for track is tonight, so we have some of our athletes there, some athletes are here tonight, and the coaches are coming and going to try to make it work, so we appreciate you letting us go first. So for the school year, that brings the athletic department, athletic program. 9 league championships, 7 county championships. 7 in a year is a lot. 227 of our athletes averaged a 90 average or better in each of the 3 seasons. And for the first time ever, I believe, because I can't find a banner anywhere, and I asked the former athletic directors, we have been named as the New York State Public High School Athletic Association School of Distinction, as all 33 varsity teams were scholar athlete teams. Very impressive. Getting it done in the classroom. And as we know, not every team can win a championship, but we're very proud that 28 out of the 33 teams went on to the playoffs, or at least had an individual qualify for the next level. 44 seniors are going on to play, to participate in college athletics, 12 at the Division I level. And I'd just like to thank all the people that support athletics, our buildings and grounds, our custodial, our security, Renee, our trainer, our bus drivers. Transportation did a phenomenal job this spring. We were so busy and we had so many changes. At this point, I'd like to bring up, to speak for Mike Austin, our head varsity girls spring track and field coach, I'd like to bring up legendary coach Jim Crowley, legendary coach Bill Waring. These 2 gentlemen volunteer their time. They volunteer for kids, and they're considered 2 of the best in the business in Suffolk County.
Thank you very much for having us. Thank you for everyone for coming. As he said, we have
two of our best athletes, arguably the best sprinter and the best distance runner we've ever had. Track's been here for 50 years, girls track. I've been here for 46 of them. And probably the best distance runner and the best sprinter.
Yeah, you're a lot.
So, the people who are not here, Alicia Wilkinson had won the county championships, which was held at Connecticut in 3 events, and then set the Suffolk County meet record at the state qualifier. She's going to state meet. She just was flown out to Seattle and back this weekend to compete in a race that only invites the top 8 people in the country. And she was out there on Brooks Dawn. The other athlete that's not here today is Liv DiGaetano. She's going to Lehigh next year on a full scholarship. She is our best distance runner of all time, and considering we just had ones put in the Hall of Fame this year that used to be the best, she's broken all their records, and she is, as is Alicia, one of the top 2 seeds in the state this weekend, so maybe good things will happen. For the people who are here, very quickly, we were league champions, which is, I've always thought leagues are the most important because that shows the depth. That's the group that won it for us. We were, in every meet, we scored about 100 to 120 points, and the other team scored about 30. That's the team we had here. Then we went to the counties, again at Connecticut. We scored 150 points. The next best team had 99. We had 30 of our girls score in the county meet. 2 of our county champions are here right now. Callie Law won the long jump. Wave. And senior Leilani Illinois, she won the hurdles. And by the way, she's going on a scholarship to Northeastern this year. Next person, Shelby.
Well, no, let's bring up the team. We'll bring up the team. Let's get a picture. By the way, as they're setting up for the picture, we're very proud to be able to host the Suffolk County Championship here again, and we received tremendous feedback from the other districts on how well it was run. Again, that's a thank you to everybody involved. And now we'd like to bring up our head varsity boys track and field coach, Shelby White, and how many boys athletes? Come on up, guys. Come on up, stay with Coach White. And then you can get all the teams that we can.
Yes, thank you very much for having us. As any of you know, I have a very large team, so the fact that these guys are here, they're here to represent quite a large team that happened to be at that all-county dinner. We have a lot of prior obligations. But even without them here, there's so much I could say about each and every person on this boys track team. I feel like every year I come up here and I talk about an unforgettable group of kids that are moving on to the next level, and it's true every year. I promise I'm not just fluffing it up. I am here telling you that these kids are absolutely incredible, season in and season out. Just quick, as far as the statistics for this season goes, these boys were the Suffolk County champions for the 4th consecutive season, we have 6 Suffolk County titles in program history. All 6 of them were done with this group of seniors. Wow. All 6 of them. So it's just absolutely incredible what they've accomplished and what they've been able to do. The girls actually fall under this as well, but if you took our scores and our marks from our county championship, it would have won every single size group county championship around the board. There's 4 of them based on school size. We would have won all 4 of them. Regardless, the girls are actually in the same boat, and even more so because of how dominant they are. But a few individuals I want to highlight here that aren't able to make it, but we had 8 all-county athletes, meaning out of all school sizes, these guys were the top 4 in their individual events. That's Alex Moulter, Joseph Ingersolino, Jeremiah Davis, Jacob Davis, Brody Lemura, Andrew Forbes, Jaden Anglin, and Devin Woodard. These individuals this year have done some incredible things along with the rest of their teammates, but these were all top 4 athletes in their individual events, 5 of them going on to the state level to represent their team this weekend. A few things I do want to say: Jaden Anglin and Devin Woodard compete in the pentathlon. They were all county there. They are number 2 and number 3 in the school ever, and the guy who was beating them did it last year. So pretty incredible what these guys are capable of. Andrew Forbes set the school record in the discus at the state qualifier this past weekend. Brody Lemura and Jacob Davis went 2-3 in the county in the triple jump, and they're both freshmen. So there's one kid ahead of them, and they're both freshmen. It's just unbelievable the future these kids have. Jeremiah Davis, Jacob's older brother, is a sophomore, going to states for the long jump, has the furthest long jump in school history at 24 feet, and will be ranked top 5. I believe he's number 4 right now in the state as he goes up. JJ Ingersolino, or Joseph Ingersolino, and Alex Moulter, both all county in the pole vault. And I don't want to talk poorly about anybody. Joseph Ingersolino, number 5 in school history with his jump, but it's just outweighed a little bit by Alex Moulter, who is the Suffolk County record holder, who jumped 16.2 this past weekend. After breaking the Suffolk County record last week at 16.1, there's only been 2 athletes to jump over 16 feet in Suffolk County history, and Alex Moulter is one of them, and he's the best one of them because he actually broke that record twice. It's just an incredible feat. He's going upstate, ranked number 2 in the state, and the only other person ahead of him is the state record holder. So it's going to be quite a battle between the 2 of them as we go up there. So out of Alex Moulter, Jeremiah Davis, Andrew Forbes, Jaden Anglin, and Devin Woodard, all 5 of these athletes are ranked top 10 in the state in their individual events, so we're hoping to bring home a couple medals this weekend. Like I said, there's not much more I can say. I'm just so proud of what these kids have been able to accomplish, and out of all of these athletes, 4 of them are seniors, which means we have a great group coming back, including these 2 guys right here. So a lot of good things to look forward to, and I hope I'm up here next winter and next spring talking about the same thing. Thank you very much for your time.
Stand for a minute. Thank you, Coach White, and a special shout out to Mr. and Mrs. White on the birth of their baby boy, Mason. All right. Tell him you're ready. He's a sprinter, not a distance guy. Okay, we'd like to have Coach Rob Berger, head coach of the varsity baseball county champions and the varsity baseball team. His assistant will be joining Coach Nick Unger.
Good evening. Thank you for having us here tonight. We appreciate the warm welcome. The Connect Bar varsity baseball team had another amazing season this year. And going to highlight some accolades of our season. Overall, we were 21-4. We were League 2 champions, our 7th league championship in a row. We won the Suffolk County Championship, first time in the program's history that we went back-to-back Suffolk County champions. We are a New York State Scholar Athlete team. I think of all those things, that one stands out the most because we did it on the field and in the classroom, which is, in this day and age, not an easy task to do. Currently ranked 5th in New York State, and at the conclusion of this season, we compiled our 993rd victory in the program's history. This year was a little bit different than some other years because we had to replace an entire group of players from the 2025 Suffolk County Championship team. We graduated almost every position. And this year, the task was thrown to these gentlemen to fill the void and work as hard as they possibly could to do that back-to-back championship. And just going around our infield, and shows you the amazing task that we did. At third base, we started a freshman. At second base, we started a sophomore. At catcher, we started a junior. And first base, we started a junior. I could go all around. And those guys stepped in and did an amazing job. We're graduating some seniors this year, fine young men who are going to do great things in life. And we have a boatload of talent come together. And the expectation is to get that three-peat. Some individual accolades. Mr. Adamo, please step up. All County. Mr. Philippone, please step up. All County. Mr. Stennett, please step up. All League. Mr. Mallon, please step up. All League. Mr. Lyman, I don't think he's here. All League. Mr. Doucette, All League. And Mr. Cope, who's not here tonight, Academic, All League. One last thing. I would like to thank my coaching staff for an amazing job this year. In particular, Coach Unger. Coach Unger was a player of mine at Connecticut, came back, tried to give everything he could at Connecticut, and he exceeded that. I'm not sure what his future holds for Connecticut baseball, but he's always got a spot here. Nick, I love you, bud. You're always welcome here, and I will do everything I can to keep you here. And I don't know how you throw the 4,000 pitches at batting practice every year that we do, and we're greatly appreciative. We all love you. Thank you, Mr. Unger. Appreciate it. Thank you.
And just one remark, our coaches are extremely humble, and I always tell them to let me know if they win any accolades, and they never do, but I did find out through the grapevine, all three coaches, Coach Berger, Coach White, and Coach Austin, who's not here, were Suffolk County Coaches of the Year. And I just want to thank the board again for giving us this time to highlight our program. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Congratulations. Congratulations to all the athletes and their families. As a mom of an athlete, I know it's not hard to do the athletics and to study and to be at practice and to do as well as you all did, so congratulations. You all deserve another round of applause. Well, the awards don't stop here. We have more awards. Ms. Poppy?
We do have more awards, and I'd like to invite Mr. Malafronte to the front. to present some art awards.
Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity here to acknowledge our art students this evening for their work this past spring. Our first presentation is for Kirsten Murphy, who's unfortunately not here this evening. She's flying out to Tennessee. She has her college orientation tomorrow for art. But just briefly on what Kirsten won here, she was selected to be in our Long Island's Best Young Artist at the Heckscher Museum. This has been a hallmark of the museum's educational program for over 3 decades. Actually 3 decades, 30 years, and it showcased work of over 2,000 students over that time. And what began as an annual exhibition of outstanding student work has become a lasting tradition, one that recognizes excellence while nurturing the generation of creative thinkers. This continues to be the only juried exhibition for Long Island high school students that provides opportunity to exhibit in the actual museum. This year, there were 63 public and private schools who submitted student artwork for jurying. There were over 400 entries that were received, and 80 pieces were selected, and Kirsten's was one of them. She was one of those 84 submissions to be selected, and this exhibit ran from March 29th through May 3rd. This particular piece was from Mr. John Hargrave's Advanced Digital Art 2 class at Connecticut High School, and she chose to create this piece using this technique using solar plating. And this process, the artist designed a composition in Photoshop. They print onto clear paper, expose it on a metal plate, and develop in water. And what's special about this project, that some of our artists have also done too, is that these students get to work hand in hand with Dan Weldon himself, who's the originator and creator of this. And he lives out in Sag Harbor, so every year we get to take this trip, work one-on-one with the artist. He invites us into his home studio, and it's really an amazing opportunity for our students to work with this local, world-renowned artist. So congratulations to Kirsten Murphy on her selection to be in Long Island's Best and represent Connecticut. The Bay Area Friends of the Fine Arts, or also known as BAFA, had their high school exhibition back at the end of April, and we had 8 students who entered this particular showcase, and one of them was awarded and selected from there. So I'm going to announce the 8 students. We'll call them up who are here, and then here we go. Brooke Shergan, which I don't believe is here this evening, Connor Mastro Di Costa, Maria Argueta Dinucci, Peter Kovalevich, the 4th, and Bethany Harding, who had 2nd place in the sculpture category for her piece there, Sydney Silianos, Cameron Zimmerman, and Dylan Zimmerman. For these 8 students, we had half do sculpting and sculpture pieces, and the other half used their mixed media, which was this solar plating print as well that was up in the exhibit. So, congratulations to you.
I'd like to invite Mr. Piambo to the front of the auditorium to recognize the OBMS national winner of the Outstanding Achievement Award from the National Junior Honor Society. If you tuned into our last board meeting, we recognized a student from RMS who had made this achievement. And tonight, I believe we do have Mia Smith-Pasquarella with us from OBMS. Mia is joined by her teacher and chapter advisor, Ms. Lori Senia. Mia? And I would just like to ensure that Ms. Rebecca Mazurowski is not with us this evening. She is our representative student from RMS who also achieved this work. We do have Congratulations and thank you so very much. And that concludes this evening's awards. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, Ms. Poppy. Congratulations to all the recipients and award recognees tonight. Okay, good night, I guess. You're all leaving. No, I'm just kidding.
No, Joey, you can all leave, it's good.
Go home and study for your exams.
No, Carol.
So we had a special request for a presentation from one of our students tonight, Eagle Scout, Fritz Fields. Mr. Fields, if you could take. See the mic in the back? Yeah, and we'll have somebody up here to do your presentation. Sabrina, if you could, if he doesn't have one. Cut it.
It's all right,
Nope, that's fine. I thought you had one. I'm sorry, my mistake.
No, that's okay. And I'm not Eagle Scout yet. I'm going for it. This is part of it.
It was preemptive on my part. I apologize.
That's okay.
Future Eagle Scout.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, but for my Eagle Scout project, I was hoping to donate a Gaga Ball pit to Helen B. Duffield Elementary School, the elementary school that I graduated from in, that's a long time ago, what, 2020? Yeah, I feel old now. Oh my goodness. But it's a sport playing whenever I went to summer camps or scouting trips, and I was hoping that I could pass that on to any future or even current students who are going there. And I have talked to Mr. John Allen. I've sent him links and sources to any Gaga Ball pits and equipment that I found that were suitable for New York State requirements. And I have a team of family friends, and other scouts who would be more than willing to help fundraise and or put together the Gaga Ball pit themselves, as well as helping me, obviously. I've also talked to some family members who work in education, who've said that their local elementary or middle schools have Gaga Ball pits, and that they've experienced the joy of many, as they say, of students who got to discover the sport for themselves, specifically at Arrowhead Elementary School, where my uncle Paul Muller, I think he works there, yeah. So, yeah, that's it, really. Sorry.
Well, I thank you for bringing this idea to us. It's definitely something something that the board will have to discuss, and we could definitely be in touch with you. We have your contact information, and good luck. I have no doubt you'll be an Eagle Scout one day.
Thank you.
Thank you. It takes a lot to get up there and talk, so that's great. Sure does, and I want to be in that Goggle bullpen if we do play this situation. Ms. Poppy and Dr. Centimore will now give a presentation on the BOCES multi-year service agreement and internet access.
So at the last board meeting, we had on the consent agenda for the board's consideration approval of the multi-year service agreement. Questions came up and we tabled it, and it'll be on tonight's consent agenda again. And we're hoping that this presentation and conversation will address the questions for when that item comes up on the consent agenda. Ms. Pop?
Good evening. So this is a very brief presentation. It's actually one slide in length. And we were hoping to capture some of the questions that were offered during the last Board of Education meeting regarding this multi-year summary and that 8 gig service upgrade to the district's internet connectivity. All right, so in terms of our objective, we are looking to upgrade all 10 school buildings, and this project does include central office. That was one of the main pieces of feedback from the Board of Education. Could central office be removed and remain on our current 1 gig service until a future date? And it turns out that at that meeting, I think I made a reference to CO being part of our, essentially our entire circuit. And it is integral to the shared infrastructure of the district, but moreover, separating it from this agreement would require some reconfigurations, additional circuits, I believe an additional NOC, the addition of some infrastructure that we do not currently have in place in order to kind of separate and keep central office on that single gig service. We have accessed this opportunity through E-Rate, which is a federal program that provides discounted internet and infrastructure services for schools. It's a 5-year commitment. This is a major component of that 5-year commitment. There was a question as far as the package that was presented in terms of a dollar amount linked to central office. And I do want to clarify, and perhaps we can take another look at that when the consent agenda is considered. The component that was called into question during the last meeting had to do with our phone connection, which is separate and apart from this specific component of the 5-year E-Rate opportunity here. So I just wanted to clarify that piece because that was another question that the board had offered. In terms of the benefits of moving from 1 to 8 gig, we're looking at opportunities for increased capacity, the support of video streaming, cloud-based tools. We know that most of our standardized testing is moving to a digital format, and we are living in a more digitized landscape in our classrooms. So this offer presents some reliability, some stability. The 8 gig is in and of itself an opportunity. Typically districts will move to either a 5 or a 10 gig, I suppose I'm calling it bandwidth in layman's terms. I just got the thumbs up from some pivotal audience members. And essentially the 5 gig would serve us well. The 10 gig would serve us even better. Those particular bandwidths are both currently on state contracts. This particular deal, this 5-year contract, allows us to have the enhanced 8 gig bandwidth at a lower rate than the 5 or 10 gig bandwidth. So this is really a unique opportunity and does give us another pathway in terms of redundancy through Lightpath and Crown Castle. And those are names, as I mentioned during the last board meeting, that the board is likely familiar with in terms of approving those individual contracts over the years. So in sum and substance, we are seeking to have this service upgrade available to all the district's buildings, all 11 buildings, including central office, for these particular benefits.
I just want to, I know that it says for all 10 school buildings, but then I think where a lot of our confusion came from was that it only outlines the high school, Cherokee, and then central office as like listed addresses. So does this dollar amount only for now cover this upgrade at those buildings, and our long-term objective is to have it at all 10, or does this dollar amount cover that, and then it's just, there's something like centrally located at the high school in Cherokee? That's what I'm trying to understand, where.
So similarly, I had a very similar question because I know I'm not an IT person, and like I have a router in my house and it doesn't connect to my neighbor's house, right? So this has Cherokee Street, 7th Street, and Ocean Avenue, only those three, but how are we getting to all 10 buildings, I guess is the question, if one of you could. You'd have to go to the MAG, so for the people like Rowan.
And my added thing is, if it's not in the contract, which it's not, how are we protected if it's not in the contract? I mean, it should be in the contract if it's covering it.
Well, good evening. We are the pivotal guests in the audience. For those at home, I am Elizabeth Weiss. I'm the Director of Instructional Technology. And to my left, I have Mr. Scott Halford. He is the Coordinator of Technology, for having us to speak. Why we're seeing those three buildings listed is those are our hubs and our redundant places as well. So right now we have the high school as our main location, and then we have the redundancy over in Cherokee. So you'll see that. I'm going to lean on Scott a little bit here, who will explain that in more depth to you so that you can understand it from the IT perspective.
Yeah, so Marisol, you brought up a good point. So think of the high school in Cherokee like the routers, and then those are the distribution points to all the other buildings, and we have fiber optic run between the high school and Cherokee to the buildings, and that's what allows the connectivity. At CO, you might have seen that in the multi-year, that's where one of our phone lines come in to service the entire district with phone service, and we also have one of those at the high school. The reason why we have two locations just is for redundancy. So say if the fiber optic went down at the high school, we have the redundancy at both Cherokee and at central office for phone service and internet, and vice versa.
So you're saying having it set up at the high school will get all the way to Iowa?
Correct. And they work together as well. So they both work in tandem with each other. But if one goes down, so say if the high school goes down, Cherokee will reach Idlehour, Cherokee will reach CO. If Cherokee goes down, the high school will reach Idlehour.
So why not just have two? Like why?
We only do have two. So the other ones that you saw at CO and the high school are what are called PRIs. Those are our phone lines that we make phone calls out of. Those are very low speed lines. Not getting too technical, but it's 10 megabits. None of us at our houses even have bandwidth that low. That's just enough bandwidth to make a phone call through. And that's it.
Why is the price tag high if it's that low?
Because we service every single phone in the district has an outbound phone line. So we have what's called DIDs. Those are phone numbers that are attached to our accounts. We have over 1,000 phone numbers, and that's just for the phone service. So just imagine like your cell phone's $50 a month. Multiply that throughout the district, and then all the phones in the district have that outside connectivity. And it's a little. The multi-year shows the price over 5 years. That's why the cost looks so high in comparison to what it really is from year to year.
Okay, so technology is constantly changing, right? The internet speed is constantly changing. Do you not think 5 years is a long span of time for something like this?
In actuality, for this particular service, I believe it's right on target. Some districts are looking to expand from where they are to 8 now. 1 gig is not enough for what we're currently housing. When we have SAT testing and other testing, it's not enough bandwidth, and we have to look for substitutes right now to support our testing. Most districts are using 5 gigs. So we're actually looking to increase to 8 gigs, which will sustain us for longer term. Again, this is for 5 years. We can revisit that afterwards, but that seems right on target for what we're looking at.
I'm also going to add to it, also gives us better pricing, and if we had to, within 3 years, revisit this and re-sign new 5-year contracts, we could do so. So right now, we're at the end of one of our 5-year contracts, and we're in the middle of a 3-year contract right now. So we can revisit this if we needed to in a couple of years.
What are the other contracts for?
The other contracts are for the internet. They're for the 1 gig internet though.
So we're in the middle of the contract for the 1 gig. Is it going to end before we engage in this one?
It will not end, but when we apply for our E-rate, we apply for 8 gig internet. So we will lose the 1 gig side of the E-rate for the 1 gig.
Right, but are we still paying that contract?
No, it will not. That we have a termination. As soon as the 5-year multi-years are signed, we have a termination agreement that will go over to BOCES and terminate both those contracts.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you. Of course. Thank you, Ms. Poppy. Can I please have a motion and a second to approve the Treasurer's Report, April 2026?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Any noes?
Abstain.
Any abstentions? Can I please have apologize. Can I please have a motion and a second to approve the cash flow report July 1st, 2025 through April 30th, 2026?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes?
No.
Any abstentions? Can I please have a motion and a second to approve the trial balance reports July 1st, 2025 through April 30th, 2026?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any noes?
No.
Any abstentions? Can I please have a motion and a second to approve the appropriation status reports July 1st, 2025 through April 30th, 2026?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes?
No.
Any abstentions? Can I please have a motion and a second to approve the revenue status reports July 1st, 2025 through April 30th, 2026?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions?
Yes. There are 3 revenue status reports, and I'm just wondering why, I don't know, the one that has the titles on it, IDEA, why is that one negative? The others are positive. Like, why is that total negative? What?
Jackie, are you referring to the report where on the far left side, under the account column, the account numbers start with the letter F?
Yes, that one.
Okay, so I'm going to pick the first line. Okay, you see the title 1A, 2020-21, where the budget is $7,521. And I see what you're saying. There's actually a negative listed there. So I'm going to have to get back to you and let you know specifically why that and then all the other ones as well.
Yeah, the whole total is negative. Like, the other ones are positive.
Yeah.
The total is negative 28 million.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I will get back.
All right, thank you. So shouldn't we pull that?
I was going to call for a motion and a second to table it. Can I have a motion and a second to table the revenue status reports July 1st, 2025 through
Motion.
April 30th, 2026?
Second. I'm sorry, what is this one?
We're tabling it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Any abstentions? Can I please have a motion and a second to approve the overtime reports July 1st, 2025 through April 30th, 2026?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions?
Yeah, it says, are we talking about number 6, June 9th? It says 2026. No? Oh, I'm sorry.
July 1st,
No, no,
2020.
no. Yeah, what my question is, it doesn't state here on mine, and it might just be because I have the new one. So it's from July 25 to April
30th of
26.
2026, yes.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome. All in favor? Aye. Any noes? Any abstentions?
Abstain.
Can I please have a motion and a second to approve the claim auditor report for April and May of 2026?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Any abstentions?
Abstain.
All right. Mr. Ibrahim, your last meeting of the year, do you have an update for us?
Okay, I don't have anything specific to like right now, but seeing this is the last meeting, could I just say a couple things about
The floor is yours.
general? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wanted to make a couple comments about I guess some things that I've really come to love over the past couple of years at the high school, and I guess some personal recommendations of mine. Firstly, I want to say that I'm really a huge, like I can't emphasize enough how big of a fan I am of everything that gets done through Mr. Cohen with the like work stuff. I've gone on, I think it's like 4 or 5 job shadows to different engineering firms, and every time it's been a delightful experience, very educational. I've learned a lot. I've even got to do some hands-on stuff. She's helped me with my resume. She helped me get a job. Very incredibly helpful. Yeah, I think it's just one of those things that I've really benefited from. As soon as I found out about it, I used it all the time. It was a great resource. Other than that, I think I was a really big fan of Field Day. Because, I think it's the second time that, is that correct? It's the second one? It was awesome. I loved it. Second annual. I loved it. It was wonderful. And I think Field Day kind of helped me realize something. I think, and I guess it has to be taken with a grain of salt because obviously there are situations where it's not always possible. But Field Day, I feel like all the teachers and faculty were like a little bit, like hands off. It was kind of just like everybody having fun without being, I guess, almost like micromanaged. And it was just a lot of fun. I would say that I think something that I've come to find in the past couple of years is that I personally perform my best when, with a little bit of grace. I think, like for instance, this past AP exam season, I had Calc BC, Physics C Mechanics, and Physics C E&M all in 1 week, pretty much back to back. And I didn't get one of my assignments done on time, and my teacher said, all right, just get it done by the end of the weekend. And I've never been so willing and excited to do an assignment in my entire life. It was just, I think that sometimes a little bit of empathy and understanding from teachers and faculty members goes a really, really long way. And I really appreciate that. And I think a lot of other students would agree with that. Yeah, that's all I got.
Michael, I'll say this. It has been, on my behalf, a true pleasure having you serve with us this year. You are such a great person. I wish you all the best in school. And I have to agree with you with Mr. Cohen's work study program. It's amazing, and I've seen firsthand all that she does, and she does great work. And we love all that she does. And yeah, the field day is awesome. And I'm glad your teacher showed you grace, because I know that that's great, because there are situations that come up, and there are students that face challenges that sometimes a little grace goes a long way. So that's awesome.
So I'd like to also say that I'll embarrass you a little bit. I've known Michael since he was in the womb. And I am so proud of the young man you've become. And I'm so happy that you were on the board this year. You were definitely a ray of sunshine and a great representative for your classmates. I also agree with Mr. Cohen. She's amazing. I love the program. I speak about it often while I'm up here. As for Field Day, again, I think it's great. I don't know what happened with Lofty, She just said that field tug of war where
Yeah,
the boys. But I am so proud of you, and I know great things are coming your way.
Thank you guys. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
So Michael, thank you as well, and thank you for the great comments about the work-based learning. I know our board members echo those sentiments. I want to take this as an opportunity because we've been getting a number of correspondences, myself, the Board of Education, regarding the work-based learning program. And I just want to be able to publicly say that the work-based learning program, which is absolutely outstanding and very instrumental to our students getting fantastic hands-on experiences, in no way is that program being cut or reduced. And I think there might have been a little confusion about that, but it is not. I just want to repeat that that work-based learning program is not being cut or reduced whatsoever. And I know we may have some people who want to speak to it, but I wanted to put that out to our community beforehand. Thank you.
With that, I will now open the floor to the first open public comment portion of the agenda. I will call individuals forward one at a time. Please wait for my acknowledgement before stepping up to the podium. You should have received a number card from security on your way in. If you have not, please see a security guard in the back of the room. Any person wishing to address the board shall address the board president. Comment shall be kept as brief as possible and relate to school matters only. Each person will be limited to 3 minutes for one or more topics. Individual employees, parents, or children should not be identified by name, title, position, grade, or building. The use of foul language and threatening comments will not be tolerated, and the board will consider a recess until order is restored. In accordance with Policy 1230, public comment will not exceed 30 minutes. If there are additional persons wishing to speak, the board may consider a motion to extend the time. Number 1.
Good evening. My name is Ariel Green. I'm a Connect Quad graduate, class of 2025, and I want to take a moment to thank the Board of Education for allowing students, both former and prospective, to give their input on this important matter. So, needless to say, Connect Quad is a district that yields success. And to me, that's not only due to the work that's done within the classroom, but especially that outside of it. During my time at Connect Quad, I had the fortune of participating in the work-based learning program. And with guidance, in just 2 years, I was able to craft a resume that stood out to my employers. I pursued an internship in a public library where I helped school children develop literacy skills during the rise of academic plagiarism and AI. I gained necessary clerical experience, all while learning the art of professionalism, taking accountability, and establishing workforce boundaries. It wasn't just a program that created these opportunities for me. It was accessibility and Ms. Rapone's dedication to her students that opened doors for me beyond graduation. Fortunately, it actually allowed me to pursue my first full-time position at the Department of Social Services, where the skills I first acquired in her office help citizens across Suffolk County who are struggling. I just want to mention that this program works because it does adhere to the needs of students. Having unrestricted access to Mrs. Rapone, that's 9 periods every day, let me focus on my priorities as a student. We all believe that mentorship should not be limited or even rushed. Please consider the detriment that students may face if office hours are capped, especially the students who aren't readily available due to programs like BOCES, extra help, AP classes, college applications, the list really does go on. I believe that this first head start in the professional journey is integral for the Connect Quad student body because every single one of us were and are ready to make this district proud of its alumni. And I cannot imagine what my journey would look like had Ms. Rapone not been there in her office ready to help me whenever I came with questions. So in the future, I truly do hope to see all Connect Quad students being able to participate in the work-based learning program at its full capacity just as I did, with your running throughout the full course of the school day. And with that, I really do thank you for your time and consideration. It was lovely to be back here. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the great accolade. Number two, we're gonna talk to Larry. It's so great to see you, so well spoken, so glad.
Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I'm here to respectfully advocate for the restoration of the full-time work-based learning coordination position at the high school. The work-based learning program serves as a vital connection between classroom learning and real-world experience. It provides students with opportunities to explore career interests, develop professional skills, build confidence, and prepare for life after graduation. Reducing this position from full-time will significantly limit student access to these valuable experiences. Professionally, I have been working with Mrs. Rapone for the past 3 years and have had the opportunity to allow students into my classroom to shadow and gain insight into classroom management, expectation as a teacher, and the day-to-day responsibilities in working with children in a classroom setting. Additionally, I have had students work in the summer camp through the work-based learning program as a partner with the Department of Labor. These students consistently exhibit the skills, maturity, and professionalism needed to succeed in the workplace, thanks to the comprehensive preparation and mentorship provided by the work-based learning program. This program does more than prepare students for jobs. It helps develop capable, motivated young professionals who make meaningful contributions to our community. A reduction in this position will inevitably result in fewer opportunities for students, fewer employer partnerships, and diminished support for those participating in the programs. At a time when career readiness is increasingly important, we should be expanding these opportunities, not scaling them back. I respectfully urge the board to reconsider this decision and restore the work-based learning coordinator position to full-time status. Doing so would reaffirm the district's commitment to career readiness, workforce development, and provide students with meaningful opportunities to explore their futures while still in high school. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you so much. Number 3? 4? Oh, are you 3, sir?
I am.
Sorry.
Good luck to pardon me. I know I have limited time and I want to speak carefully, so I'm going to read you something that I wrote. Some of you know me. Hi. Good evening. My name is John Rapone, and I'm speaking as a concerned parent of a student currently employed with scope to the Connecticut High School Work-Based Learning Program. Recently, I learned that in addition to her current full-time position, the district plans to require the work-based learning coordinator, Michelle Rapone, to teach 2 business classes next year. I believe this decision is being made from a 30,000-foot view of a program whose value is obvious and whose real strength lies in the granular details. Work-based learning is a program that helps students connect what they learn in school to real-world careers and workplace expectations. Students develop practical skills and workplace readiness. The goal is to help students better understand their strengths, interests, and future career options before they leave high school. WBL bridges the gap between the classroom and the workforce by giving students meaningful experiences in the real world. The duties of the work-based learning coordinator include scheduling and conducting student interviews, giving career counseling, overseeing job shadowing, setting up internships, managing school-to-work placements, scope and Department of Labor programs, employer outreach, worksite visits, writing training plans, conducting evaluations, tracking hours, helping students write resumes, coaching and supervising phone interviews, researching and scheduling guest speakers, and the painstaking task of matching students with opportunities based on their strengths, interests, maturity, and temperament. Please understand, this is not a job that only happens in high school between 718 and 206. Many of these duties require Mrs. Rapone to be out of the building at various times of the day and evening. The coordinator is also in constant communication with students, parents, employers, internship sites, and guest speakers through phone calls, emails, and texts.
Teaching 2 classes plus a third prep period is not merely adding additional responsibilities. It accounts for roughly 1/3 of the school day that will no longer be available for work-based learning duties. Now, this is accounting only for the objective classroom time and prep period. This grossly neglects to consider the real-world time and attention that is required to meet the needs of students in the classroom and the demands of the WBO program. This may seem like an effective scheduling solution on paper, but I do not believe it corrects a problem. It creates a new one. A change like this is not simply a dial that can be turned back to neatly allow for time enough to meet what is in fact an unrealistic expectation. If this change is made, not only will certain portions of the program need to be cut, but the work-based learning program's scope and reach as a whole would have to be reduced. As New York State is moving towards more career-connected, real-world learning for students, this moves Connecticut in the opposite direction. I know I'm out of time, pardon me, I'm almost done.
Yeah, if you just wrap up, that's fine.
Once employer relationships weaken, once opportunities are cut, and once parts of the program disappear, this will not be easy to rebuild. The reduction will echo through the program and affect current and future students for years. Please do not allow this. The costs would greatly outweigh the assumed benefit and be a huge step backwards in Connecticut's endeavor to give students the highest quality of education available. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Number 4.
Good evening, my name is Linda Zimmerly, and I have spent the past 11 years teaching business courses in Connecticut, both at the high school and at Oakdale Union Middle School. There are cuts being made to the business department, which includes my position being excess for next year. Ms. Pizzamenti is retiring, and we also had a retirement from the department 2 years ago that was not replaced. As we just heard from several people, Ms. Rapone is being put back into the classroom part-time, basically to fill the classes that I will be there to teach, resulting in work-based learning program being cut to part-time as well. In 2 years, the business department has lost 30% of their teachers. So these cuts are being made to the business department. They're resulting in students being turned away from business classes, especially the new AP business class, because there are not enough teachers to teach it. AP Business had 77 students signed up, and other students continuing to request it, and they cannot get into the class because there isn't a teacher for a fourth section. Esports had 89 kids sign up, but we don't have enough teachers to have 4 sections. Those students are going to be turned away from that as well. And this is all just information I gathered today from our business department meeting with Mr. Cassini. For years, it's been advocated for financial literacy to become a graduation requirement. Now that New York State has finally mandated it, it's frustrating to see our district doing the minimum necessary to meet the requirement, rather than embracing the opportunity to expand and strengthen financial literacy education. As I don't have a job next year, I've been interviewing in other districts, and the first thing they ask me is how is Connecticut letting people go and meeting the requirement of the mandates. Other districts are adding financial literacy to their middle schools. They're having every 7th grader have a class in financial education. So while I'm saddened to be leaving Connecticut and my students, I'm really disappointed knowing that these cuts will ultimately affect the business course offerings and programs for students in the future. Business education is a necessity. Our students cannot afford to graduate without understanding budgeting, financial planning, entrepreneurship, workplace communication. These are life skills that every student needs, regardless of their future path. Whether a student attends a 4-year college, pursues a technical certification, or starts their own business, business courses provide a foundation for informed decision-making and economic independence. I urge you to recognize business education as a core curriculum and reconsider the changes and cuts being made to Connecticut's business department. Our students' futures depend on it. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for bringing some of that to our attention because we were not told all of that. So I appreciate that. Number 5.
It's our job to look, to find that out.
Well, I asked that question specifically, especially with the AP business class coming in. I asked specifically if it would be effective, and I was told no. And to hear that kids might be turning back, that's not okay. I'm not okay with that at all. I asked that question specifically. Who's going to teach this AP business class? This is a new class that's coming in. I am not okay, and I'm going to look into that. I appreciate you bringing it up.
This is going on
across the board.
No, it's not.
Number 5.
These are part of the reasons why, without these questions, why I said no to the budget.
Number 6.
Good evening, folks. Ed Barry, for those who haven't met me yet, I'll be on the board next month. I empathize with being excess, because I was excess with Connect One twice as a tenured teacher. Having said that, it's no easy decision for anybody up there, because budget cuts they're a thing, and we'll talk more about that in July. I am standing here to talk about what I talked about in the last meeting, and that is transparency with regard to the financials. I'm pretty computer literate, so much so that I humbly submit that I'm an AP teacher, AI teacher trainer, okay? It took me hours and hours to finally figure out a way to see the documents for tonight's meeting, okay? And Madam President, I'm curious, if you're okay with this, just to poll anybody up there to raise their hand if they can tell any community member how to go to our website and find these documents for the night's meeting.
I'm definitely okay with the poll. I can do it. I can
Okay.
walk anybody through it.
Okay.
But I cannot speak for anybody else.
All right. So can I ask you how you found it?
So I just go to Board of Education meetings, board docs, and that's how I get it.
Yeah. So
She has
for
help with the IT person.
you have to.
Going down.
So this is what I found you have to do. You have to go to print, and then you have to go to detailed thing, the detailed
to
agenda.
print it, or just to view it?
No, I'm talking about not just viewing the agenda, that's easy. I'm talking about seeing all the nitty-gritty financial statements.
Yes, yes. So that has been an issue, and we were working to rectify it.
Okay, so let me address that from a former vendor point of view, okay? If Board Docs, which many districts use, isn't satisfying the customer's need, then we have to find a way to get the information so that anybody in the community can see it. It's obviously either Board Docs doesn't have the capacity to do it, or we're not using its capacity. But either way, it's failing. And failing is not okay, because next year, we're going to have to scrutinize every piece of that budget, and it is going to be everybody's going to have to chime in so that we're not having these conversations a year from now, and that when we start trying to get a balanced budget or something close to it, okay, that people understand all the ramifications. I'm baffled on what we're going to do next year, because we've taken so much money from fund balance and reserve accounts. That's a savings account. What are we going to be stuck with next year? So it's all related. Thank you.
Thank you.
So I heard some commentary about the AT business course, and my understanding is that we all run 3 sections of AP business. We have a teacher on assignment that does our mentoring, that will also be picking up business courses. So we'll certainly check back in to see if anyone's been turned away, but my understanding is we have 3 sections of AP business. It's a new course that's being offered.
There's 77 students signed up, and Mr. Hussain said he had students just coming to him now, and he has to tell them he doesn't have room for them. There's 77 students signed up.
I'm a huge supporter of the business
I know.
department. Huge. So to hear that, it was very disheartening to me.
And I'd just like to chime in that I'm not sure how that information has been communicated to students. Our master schedule's not completed yet, so we're still very much in the planning processes for 26-27. I can reiterate that we are offering 3 sections of AP Personal Finance, which is a new AP level course through our business department
And yes, we are pulling a teacher who is also functioning on special assignment to teach those 3 sections inside of her workday. Number 7.
Good evening. My name is Ella Vero, a senior at Kennequot High School and head of public relations for National Business Honor Society. I'm here tonight to speak about the decision to access one of our business teachers, Ms. Zimmerly. As a student who had the privilege of being taught by Ms. Zimmerly in entrepreneurship, I can confidently say that she has made a lasting impact on me and many other students. She's more than just a teacher who follows a curriculum. She creates an environment where students feel supported, encouraged, and inspired to think creatively about their futures. Entrepreneurship is a class that teaches real-world skills that students will use long after graduation. Through her teaching, we learn about leadership, problem-solving, communication, financial responsibility, and how to turn ideas into opportunities. These are skills that apply to every career path, whether a student plans to attend college, enter the workforce, or start a business of their own. What makes Ms. Zimmerly truly special is the way she connects with her students. She takes the time to get to know us, believes in our potential, and pushes us to be our best. She celebrates our successes and helps us learn from our mistakes. The positive influence she has on students extends far beyond the classroom. When schools lose dedicated teachers like Ms. Zimmerly, students lose valuable opportunities and mentorship. These budget cuts have a direct impact on the future for Kennequot students. Students are being turned away from business classes, especially the new AP Business class, because there are not enough teachers to teach it, which is extremely disheartening considering business classes were what I looked forward to most of my day. The business department is an important part of preparing students for life after high school, and her experience, passion, and commitment cannot be replaced. Decisions about staffing are not just about positions, they are about the quality of education and opportunities available to the students these schools are meant to serve. I respectfully ask the board to reconsider this decision and explore every possible option to retain our excess teachers, especially Ms. Zimmerly. Investing in great teachers is investing in students, and our school community is stronger because of educators like her. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for being willing to come up. Number 8.
Good evening. My name is Natalia Scharfenberger. I'm a junior at the high school who will be speaking on behalf of Mrs. Zimmerly tonight. As a student who's involved in business programs at the high school, being the newest president of National Business Honor Society and the treasurer for DECA, it pains me to see the issues with the business department being discussed tonight, especially with the situation regarding one of our beloved business teachers. Before coming to high school, the thought of what career path I would follow had never crossed my mind. That was until I was enrolled in my first business class sophomore year, Intro to Marketing with Mrs. Zimmerly. Through her teaching, she helped me discover a passion that I would never discover without her. Her enthusiasm for marketing, business, and helping her students succeed in every lesson goes beyond, leading to when my marketing class came to an end, I specifically went to my guidance counselor to switch my quarter 3 and 4 class to Mrs. Zimmerly entrepreneurship class, to then going to make sure I was enrolled in another one of her classes this year. In the classroom, she is constantly encouraging us to think creatively and work hard. She assigns us exciting projects that give us the freedom to explore real-life skills through business, which personally makes me excited to go to school. Her lessons extend far beyond the classroom and are skills I will continue to carry with me throughout college, and because of her influence, I am now seriously considering pursuing a career in business. What makes her so special is that she cares about her students beyond the classroom. An example of this is a few months ago, my classmates and I were chatting with her in our sports marketing class about how we had a scrimmage in lacrosse that day. Where later that day, we saw Mrs. Zimmerly in the stands watching us play. She didn't have to do that, but she took the time out of her day to come out of her way to sit in the heat to support some of her other students and I. That just showed me one of the ways on how she genuinely cares about her students and their success, both in her classroom and out of it. Teachers like her are rare. She doesn't just teach, she inspires students, and I know that I'm not the only student whose life has been positively impacted by her dedication, support, and encouragement. Keeping her in our classrooms means it will give future students the same opportunities that I had, and the same opportunities that I had, the opportunity to be supported, inspired, and motivated. She has made a difference in my life, and I believe that she will continue to make a lasting difference in the lives of other students. And just to add with that, by Ms. Rapone coming back into the classroom, it will reduce the work-based learning program due to her time being occupied with teaching, and if we do not keep another teacher like Mrs. Zimmerly in our classrooms, it will be another factor that is harming the work-based learning program. Thank you for your time, and I hope the board will consider reviewing this issue thoroughly and make every effort to keep Mrs. Zimmerly in our classroom so she can continue to support our students and community.
Number 9.
Hi, Lloyd. Couple quick things. Piggybacking on Mr. Barry about the IT and all that stuff. Just so you know, the school calendar says that this meeting is at OBMS, and social media says it's at RMS. So it was very nice to drive for $50,000 a gallon tonight. So there's that. So I don't understand why we never update our calendars. Everything is always lagging behind. So if you're not on social media, we can check it, because I know the person you think when you check the school calendar, you would end up at the wrong place. The other thing I want to do is, I just want to say, I want to support the business department for a couple of reasons. First off, I just want to say how beautifully and eloquently the young students have come up here to speak, and it's clearly an indicator of how wonderful that department is doing to raise our students up to have the pathway to success. I do have children that were part of the business department, and it was just a wonderful experience. Shout out to Ms. Ramon, because love her, we didn't have necessarily, but it was a great experience, and it definitely has helped them moving forward in their future. So I hope that we will listen to the students, because they are who we're here to serve. The other question I have is Portrait of a Graduate. Are we allowed to talk about that this one? Okay, so Portrait of a Graduate, they're going to be from, I've already been to like some things on this and stuff, and they're going to be allowing each school to decide what that's going to look like. Who is going to be deciding in our school? It cannot just be the building administrator, because that's going to be problematic. And the problem with the way that they're doing this, because there's not a lot of guidance yet, and I know that we're still waiting from the state to give us this guidance and all that business, because it's supposed to start after next year. But the thing is this, so if you have we don't have a set of standards, which of course within New York State's issue if they're not requiring certain things. Clearly you're going to make it so it fits the community, and you want to make sure that, we're honoring that and we're doing the right thing with that. But then you have a school district that has like very stringent requirements for Portrait of a Graduate, and those kids will be up here. You could have another school district, which I've already heard this, some administrators don't really, not here, that are like, whatever, we'll just make it whatever. So those kids will still look very great on paper, but the quality of what they have learned is not the same. And that's where the problem comes in. It's not about a grade or anything like that. It's making sure that the students are well prepared for what they're going to be doing going forward. So I would like to know when we're going to start working on a rubric for that, or some sort of idea on how we're going to be managing the expectations of that.
So first, I'm sorry you drove all over town.
That's all right.
It was a last minute change, and we thought we hit all the stuff.
It's all right.
We got the district calendar. I apologize for that.
It's not your fault.
As far as Portrait of a Graduate, there has been discussions in the curriculum committee, which has community members and staff, and Ms. Poppy is leading the charge with the director. She had conversations. I think Dr. Senwell wanted to speak a little bit to that too, but there is not just the building administrators making those decisions.
Right, so are we gonna get, I'm sorry, Mr. Director, just a quick question. Are we going to be able to see exactly what is the expectation is going to be, like a written out, full, booklet, pamphlet, something, so if a child is heading on path where they're going to be utilizing the Portrait of a Graduate for their graduation requirements, that we would be able to really just go down a checklist?
Yes, that's what we're working towards, and like Ms. Mallon said, working through the curriculum committee and you're well versed, as the state is slowly rolling out their guidance. Hasn't been a little bit on climate education, financial education. The attributes of a graduate, the 6 attributes, that's been a big focus this year. And then certainly as they roll out the flexibility that we're hearing about graduation measures and local control with graduation measures, to your point about, well, how does that look from one district to another, in terms of comparisons and rigor and standards. We do need a little bit more guidance from the state that help us define that for NECWA, and then certainly, do it through a committee such as the curriculum committee provides that stakeholder.
Are we also taking into account during that, the special education, areas? Because, you know, it could help a lot of students in those areas as well. And sometimes I feel like when we're dealing with special education, we don't necessarily always include people like they have like CDOS or something like that. So I would love to see that to be a really strong consideration as well, because there are so many students that would benefit from it because they would be able to showcase their talents and their knowledge in a different way that would be more beneficial and more suitable for them.
And that's the intent of the state's initiative with Youth Inspires, which is the Portrait of a Graduate, is to provide these alternate pathways and measurements, keeping all students with all learning backgrounds in mind.
Thank you so much.
Jenny, I just want to add that it has been the entire year we've been working on that. And I'm going to be honest with you, many of the guidelines fall into classes that we already have.
Portrait of a Graduate is not like that. It's a matter of determining what the requirements are and the rigor of those requirements. So the expectation from, let's just say, a top performing school district, like a top 10 district, is going to be different the way that it stands now than the expectations from a district that is in the lower 10%, success-wise. And we want to make sure that we are maintaining the same level of rigor across the board, because otherwise it is not fair to the students. So it's not a matter of us having the classes, it's a matter that the state did not provide us with specific guidelines yet. They're slow in rolling that out.
Yes, and that's why I want to be honest with you, that when we discuss this, and like she said, it's administrators, parents, district community members, that we do find that many of the criteria right now is fitting in many of the classes that we already are teaching. So I want you to know.
Well, it would be a cohort though if you did Portrait of a Graduate. It would be a cohort because you have to pick a path to go down. That's how it kind of works. So I get what you're saying though, but
I think you'd really enjoy going to the curriculum meetings if you can make them, just so you know. So next year if you want to look for that on the calendar.
All right, sounds good. Thanks.
Thank you. I know we only had 9, but does anybody else want to? All right, number 10.
Ryan, move it.
Thank you. I usually sit here as a spectator, but maybe I've seen too many signs on the railroad, see something, say something, and after tonight, I just feel like this is too egregious not to say something. To cut the work-based learning program and reduce it to a part-time capacity just seems insane. It's a program I believe that needs to be expanded. The district just 5 days ago was touting it on its own social media page. It's quite ironic how one of the, I think, physical therapists that's related to the program, multiple students have gone there, and there's a whole post about it. I saw it, I think, over the weekend. And to cut the amount of classes that students can take, if there are potential students that can't take AP business classes, again, these classes should be mandated. I know we've talked about financial literacy and we're requiring that, but it needs to go beyond, and there needs to be more time put into business. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I want to make a request, and no, it's not going to hold any water on one person. I'd like this help, okay? What we're going to vote on with the personnel.
I'm sorry, what was your request was
to hold it and not do terminations and that this evening.
No, there are resignations.
Resignations, and there's also
tenures, some school hires.
Yeah, I'm not going to hold it. I wouldn't push that.
Yeah, especially the tenures and the resignations.
Is there, this evening, is there anybody being accessed? Oh, we're sure. There's not.
No, there's no accessing.
We're not.
No, these are resignations that people resign for either personal reasons or retirement reasons or.
I want to make sure it's not a shell game, so.
Alright, I will start with the non-instructional. Can I have a motion and a second to approve the non-instructional personnel items as presented?
Motion.
Second. Any questions?
Yeah, I just have a quick question. I always there, because if it's on, I don't know. Okay, so, the only question I have on there, just for my own information, make sure I'm reading this right. And it's literally numbers 119 to 155. Many of them, not all, almost all, are listed twice. And there are actually two that are listed three under, like, tasks. Are they getting paid? Like, how? Why? Why is it listed like that?
Please look.
I'm looking at it right now. Jackie, I'm sorry, you're saying from 119 where?
Yeah, 119 to I think 155, all the way to the end. There's just names that are listed twice, and their tasks are, I mean, I don't know, you know, I don't do their job, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's all for the summer.
Right.
Yeah, why?
Jackie, I'm looking at one, I would like to see a name listed
Oh, okay,
twice.
let
I
me
can't
give
see.
you one that's listed.
Please, thank you.
Yeah, but, which one is 133 and 146? Okay, thank you.
133 and
46.
146.
That's fine. It says it's on there.
Rusty, you want me to, I can talk now.
Yes, Lori, thank you.
Okay, so we do, hire, ESY, so we have an ESY program over the summer, that's for our special education students. And so in that case, those nurses will share responsibility, and we do have some that, they won't work the whole 6-week program, but they'll work some of the program, and they also will sub. But there is also some, work that they have to do over the summer in terms of inputting data into student data for September, so there is some of that as well.
Is that listed as one, so it's not listed as one job?
It is clearly listed as two different jobs, underneath where it says,
Yeah.
Right, one
Position.
position.
That's an awful lot of nurses, by the way.
I saw that.
So we have two different buildings that are gonna have the ESY, right, and we have to have a nurse in each of those. So they share the responsibility, they're not there at all times, there'll be one.
No, I'm sorry, it's under reason. Reason is the different thing, not position. They're school nurses, but the reason is listed differently for the same.
Right, and that's confusing me, because I said, oh, they're there, they do, and I got.
They're doing two different things.
Okay.
And just for the record, I want to clarify, Marisol, yeah, I get that, what we're voting on today. We voted last time on this. Okay, my point is, again, no answers. Why are we doing this until we have the answers? Okay? From last week to this week. I'm tired of us being surprised about things. That's it.
Oh, okay. I mean, for me, I'm approving people resigning, right? And hiring the summer work. All in favor? Aye. Aye. Any noes?
No.
Any abstentions? Okay. Can I have a motion and a second to approve the instructional personnel as presented?
Second.
Yeah, Marco. Okay, so can I have a motion to approve the instructional personnel items number 1, 2, 3, and 5 through 106?
No. Okay, that's fine.
Yes?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, I see the one you want to
That's okay, just.
So 1, 2, 3,
I don't think the other one.
right, 8 through 106. Right?
Yeah, I don't think they're very much.
Can I have a motion second to approve items number 1, 2, 3, and 8 through 106?
Motion.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes?
No.
Any abstentions? Okay, can I have a motion second to approve items number 4, 5, 6, and 7 on the instructional personnel items?
Not 7, 4, 5, 6.
Well, it's 7 also because I said it last time.
Yeah. Well, okay, motion.
That's all right. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Motion. Second.
sent to Laura.
Thank you very much. So a few things to bring up.
You know what, we are not up to Dr. Senomore's update. Can I have a motion and a second to approve the budget transfers on the consent agenda? Motion?
Second.
Any questions?
Yeah, is it possible to pull just one of those items off and vote separately?
Which one?
Let me make sure that I'm looking at the right thing. What are we doing right this second?
Consent agenda.
Okay,
so it's budget transfers.
yes.
Yeah.
I would like to pull the one that is transfer funds to cover May invoice for Silverman and Associates.
The $3,000?
Yes, that one.
What about the BOCES multi-year? Anybody
We
want
didn't
to
get-
vote on that?
We're doing sesame on all of them.
Oh,
We're at the consent agenda.
oh, you're gonna do the, just, oh.
Yes, yes. Sure, we can pull it and have that for a separate vote. So can I have a motion and a second to approve the budget transfers as amended without the insurance waiver for the transfer fund to cover the May invoice for Silverman and Associates?
Motion.
Well, wait, pulling it just to vote separately, is that what you're saying?
She wants to pull that one?
Vote
I want to
separately.
separately on that one.
Motion.
You're the second.
Yes, you are.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes?
No.
Any abstentions? Now, can I have a motion and a second to approve the budget transfer for the funds to cover the May invoice for Silverman and Associates?
Motion.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Any noes?
I have a no, and I'm going to explain why.
Okay.
In full transparency to the community, because I did not vote to approve the settlement agreement with Thunderbird, and this is a bill to pay Silverman Associates, who is the lawyer, who is currently, that's the law group currently covering what is happening now. We have a Title VI violation. I am not paying for that. I don't agree with any of it, so I'm no for this. And I just want to put that out there for the community to understand why I'm saying no to this.
Yeah, thank you. Ms. Parisi?
I'm abstaining.
Abstention. Ms. Keller, you got that? Can I have a motion and a second to approve the BOCES multi-year service agreement on the consent agenda?
Motion. Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Any abstentions?
I'm abstaining.
Yeah. You were yes, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Can I have a motion and a second to approve the fund reserves on the consent agenda?
Motion. Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes?
No.
Any abstentions? Can I have a motion and a second to approve the tax anticipation note for year ending June 30th, 2027?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Any abstentions?
Abstaining.
Can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 6 and 7 on the consent agenda, the Basti Prize Deposit and the New York State School Facilities Association Scholarship?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions on those? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Any abstentions? Can I have a motion and a second to approve the flow-through contract for Brookville Center Children's Services?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions? All in favor? Aye. Any noes? Any abstentions?
Abstain.
Can I have a motion? Yeah, Ms. Parisi abstained. Can I have a motion and a second to approve, to extend the RFP for the workers' compensation third party?
Motion.
Second. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Any abstentions?
I'm sorry, I'm abstaining.
Ms. Parisi is abstaining. Can I have a motion second to approve the health and welfare service agreement, New Hyde Park?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions?
Yeah. So I feel like this again, this has already come up, and this is like a double, but I could be wrong on that. I feel like this was a couple of, maybe a month and a half ago. Is this, have we done this one before? Who do I ask?
This is number 10. I don't recall doing the New Hyde Park Garden City service agreement. It's probably being Ms. O'Hara. Am I wrong?
It's not a specialist, but let me check if I can.
That's what I'm saying, okay. So my thing is, I think we did this.
We've done a couple.
Yeah, but specific to this one. So, again, I have to question if that's the case, then why did we do it yet again?
Well, right, but what happened is that. Sure.
We do a lot of service agreements. I don't recall the New Hyde Park.
Just rebuild.
Okay, that's okay, I keep all the pages on.
Yes. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Any abstentions?
Abstaining.
Can I have a motion second to approve item number 11 on the consent agenda, bid analysis recommendation for athletic and phys ed uniforms?
Second. Whatever.
Any questions on those?
Yeah.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
I have questions. There are questions.
Oh, I guess, all right. I'm on there, so I guess I'll go. Well, not really any question, I'm not looking to approve this for me, because it's, I'm not against, of course, the kids needing uniforms, absolutely, but from what I saw, all of this is putting the Connect Watch C again, erasing our Thunderbird, and, spent $24 million without telling the community we were changing over to the C. So here, I'm telling the community, here's an item to, again, change things over to the Connect Watch C, get rid of Thunderbird, so we can, have a discussion, but anyway, I'll tell you right now, I'm a no for this, for that reason.
So my concern is not about the Thunderbird, it's about the fact that I feel like uniforms are on our agenda every year and more than one time. So I want to understand that, and as I said, obviously I was a student here and I played sports every semester. I didn't get a uniform. I wore that same shirt that I had in 9th grade and 12th grade. So I just want to understand why we're always buying new uniforms and investing when I feel like it could be used in my hand.
Yeah, Ms. Copley was able to obtain
I
uniform replenishment cycle information.
I had a similar question, because I just want to make sure or understand the process that it goes through before it gets on here, because I do, some of it does say T-Birds, and the one thing I just don't want to prevent any team from being able to do anything, because I see we have the swim caps on here, and I know those don't get reused for obvious reason, but there's some things on here that it's not even exactly clear what sport it's correlating to, and where it just says a design will follow. I would rather, if possible, since we're going into the summer, especially table it, because I would like more information about how it made it to the list at the end of the day.
I do have some detailed information that I'm able to provide to the board. And I did seek out some clarification about this consent agenda item from our district purchasing agent. And she did assure me that the board's consideration of this item is really to approve this opportunity for bid. It does not lock the district into any specific element of spending. I've also asked Mr. Mulberry to go back and sort of itemize the rationale for each one of these requests, and they are just that, they're requests. It does not mean that they will be fulfilled. Some of them are being made for sanitary reasons, right? Some of this material or these supplies are consumables, for lack of a better term, including bathing suits, hats that you're not going to pass down from player to player or athlete to athlete over the years. He did request that some of our coaches take another look at existing inventory and attempt to do some fill-ins. The fill-in process is something that many of our sports teams are able to take advantage of, which is just ordering additional pieces to kind of bolster up the team's inventory instead of purchasing brand new for all students. And that goes for some of these requests. Some are for fill-ins. Some have also been retracted since this item was entered on, since this list was entered onto the Board of Education meeting. So again, the approval of the bid does not lock the district into any sort of spending. It allows the district to spend on these particular items if the district decides to move forward with that type of spending. I'm happy to provide any level of detail that you're requesting right now for specific items, or I can share that with the board at a future date.
I'll be the first to say that if a kid needs a uniform, a kid needs a uniform. As a parent of 3 athletes, like if, my child needed a uniform, I would have liked for them to have it. At the same time, I don't know that I could conscientiously vote for this $40,000 budget item responsibly, because do we need the uniforms or do we want the uniforms, right? Like, why are we getting the uniforms? What is the uniform for? Yeah, I understand the swim caps, but I saw warm-up shirts on there. So
You saw what?
warm-up shirts, long sleeve warm-up shirts. Yeah, I'd love to have a warm-up shirt too, but So those are some of the concerns that I have in voting yes for this budget item.
I can appreciate that, and the level of detail I have about warm-up shirts, one in particular for volleyball. I'll give you the example. This item is all warm-ups. Uniforms are in good condition. However, warm-ups are yellowed, frayed, ripped, or beaten up. They will be 7 years old. So, as Dr. Centimore mentioned, Mr. Mallory does maintain a uniform replenishment cycle, and when concessions can be made to kind of keep and hold on to uniforms, it seems that is the case. That is what transpires. But this particular instance, relative to warm-ups, is universally seeming like uniforms are okay. Warm-ups are yellowed, frayed, ripped, beaten up. They will be 7 years old. In some instances, our varsity teams pass their uniforms to the JV squad as well. So we do take an opportunity to do that. And we do have a few requests that are contained within this list to ensure that we have uniforms of varying sizes to meet all of our students' needs. And so that's another component that you wouldn't necessarily see just looking at the list itself without the qualitative.
You know, it is $40,000 is a hard pill to swallow, because yes, you might need 2 uniforms, warm-up, I don't know, I had to wear my own t-shirt. I just feel like with all the cuts that we did between staff members, educational members, to spend $40,000 on warm-up t-shirts and other things like that, I just don't think it's fiscally responsible.
And I understand that it's just allotting it, but once you allot it, who's not going to use it?
That's what I was going to say. Like,
So
I don't need to be in, like, Debbie Downer, not to say I don't trust people, but like, there's a lot of blind trust going into, like, no, you're just saying we could spend the money. Like, I don't want it available to spend until I know what it can be spent on. Exactly, and I think that for me at least, I just need to understand detail. And again, like, I don't want to take any uniform away, but I do remember there was a time period where people were coming from the kids coming from the junior high about their uniforms. Like, is that included on here anywhere, or do we just do it as a conversing to JV and then just try to like kick it down to the middle school and then they're, you know what I mean? Like I just need to understand what some of these are because when I'm looking at it from the way it's written, it's just like, they just want like Nike hoodies for the team. And I just, if it's a necessity, that's fine. I just don't even know what team it goes to.
So, you get impatient. I have a couple of concerns about this. One is, we don't honestly know how it's gonna come down, whether it'll be a C or, right? We talked about that. I'd like to know, do we utilize an RFP to do these bids?
Yeah, some of them have bids and some of them had no bids come in. It says it on the,
Right, and my thing is are we by law required to do RFPs on these types of things? Anthony,
It's
do you know?
purchasing, it's over a set dollar amount, but yes, you would be required to do that, but likely, given the type of services that you're purchasing, you probably got it off a co-op or some other consortium that you are use.
Could you explain that again, please?
So, we'll say, for example, EC Seven Closest has them, there's purchasing consortium in which the school district will, you can't do it for public works projects, but for other types of purchasing, you are allowed to go piggyback off other bids. So if that municipality bids on t-shirt purchasing, you're able to piggyback on that contract.
Even if it doesn't pertain to sports?
Yes, that's not, I would assume this district uses consortium and cooperative bidding on a number of items.
So my request is to see some of that information, number one. Also, I'm not quite sure about that, what is it, warm-up shirt? Are we saying that volleyball got warm-up shirts?
no, that's one of the items on the list.
Right. Warm-up shirts, just saying. Yeah, this is subject to doing it differently.
All right, so all in favor? Any noes? I'm a no. Any abstentions?
I'm abstaining.
4 noes and an abstention.
Wait a second. I want to make sure that this is, if we can, after we get all this information, right, put back on the agenda to maybe vote on this again. I do not want to not do something if something is needed.
Right, well, that was my whole point. Like, if we
Right.
need a uniform and, you know, Mr. Mallory comes back and is like, but I need this for whatever, that's fine,
Right. So what do we do? We're going to talk to him and then potentially put it on the next.
I mean, that would be what I would do if I was.
Right,
Well,
so.
why don't we make a determination and do it?
Hearing the input from the board, we're gonna go back, sit with Mr. Mallory,
Okay.
confirm the needs assessment, realizing it's a bid for, you know, the ability to then purchase, but we don't want to have it fully open. We'll make sure that there's a specific need that's identified, and in terms of, you know, if there's a team that's not identify the team. In terms of the design, there's no intent right now to change any logos because of any mascot matters. So, you
No,
know,
no.
that's not, you know, so.
We blinked and the whole website was changed to a SIG. So, that's not
It's
exactly.
been changed for years. There was 24 million or so spent, just slowly changing things over to a C, kind of anticipation for this, coming up. And honestly, it's not even settled. We're not even at a point right now where it's one thing or the other. We stuck ourselves right in the middle of a battle between the state and the federal, which we should have never done. But here we are, and I'm not doing things behind closed doors with this. I want the community to know that something like this goes through. Thunderbird wouldn't be on it if this board approves it like this. It'll be a state, and they have a right to know that it's their money.
My thing is that I do trust our athletic director. What I'd like is if we could potentially bring him in to speak with the board. Can we do that about this pertaining to this issue?
I mean, absolutely. I trust our athletic director also.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So let's bring him in. I have a couple of things for our administration, such as the process, but other than that, let's.
Can I have a motion and a second To approve item number 12 on the consent agenda, OBMS Music Festival.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes?
Aye.
Okay. Can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 13, facilities use organizations?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions?
Yeah. Could someone explain to me, I keep seeing some letters and emails dealing with using the utilization of the swimming pool. Could someone explain that to me? Because that's essentially facilities being used, yes.
I believe the inquiry that we just received was about any kind of public utilization of the swim pool beyond, some of the swim clubs.
Right.
And so that's, not something that's currently in place.
Why can't we put something like that in place? It's something that the community has paid for. And I heard over the years, children take their swim lessons. I mean, honestly, it's a great way to tie in maybe our swim team. They can work with the little ones. I'm just throwing ideas out there to get use out of it because it is a beautiful, beautiful facility. And why not open it up to find a way to make that work with the community and even, all ages.
I think I asked this last year, and I don't know if this is changed. I think I had this conversation with you now. I believe I was told that it interferes with, we already have the swim club is using the pool, but then also we would have to staff lifeguards, and I believe it was supposed to be looked into. I think it's one of those things that 900 million other crisis came up, and I personally, I can take accountability, never followed up, but I do believe I asked this last year, and I started getting a laundry list of things that would needed to be staffed, and then I think I brought up, don't we have a lifeguarding class? I wonder if we can incorporate that, and then we never circled back to it, so.
There was something I was told about insurance issues and about whether whatever organization, because we were opening it up to specific organizations, right? But they were covered by their own insurance, not ours. So is that a potential issue? That's what I was told, by the way, many moons ago. As far as, Anthony, can you answer to that? I'm not sure.
I do have another large school district that has a new pool facility. They do allow the community to use it. They work with, they get lifeguards. Normally it's an outside organization where they have to pay a fee. They're paying to cover the lifeguard fee. They do have to have insurance in place. The district will have this insurance. But also, anyone using any of the facilities should be naming you as an additional insurer, so that should already be paid for.
So there is a district that does this, that you know of?
Sure, yeah, I can give you a few examples of one of which happens.
Okay.
Right, so my concern though is with that, just pertaining to that question, was if this is a community swim, right? And I want to make all our facilities available to our residents. Having said that, I also want to make sure that we're not excluding people due to insurance and things of that nature. But again, I was told for years, the reason why is if it's not open up to the general public, meaning that the person comes in and just wants to go swimming on a certain day and time, was because it wasn't an organization-based thing, and it dealt with insurance. So what you're saying is it can be done, so let's look into it, right? Okay.
Michael, I see your name is up there. You want
Yeah, so I did swimming for a number of years, and not only was I a member of the Connecticut swim team, I was a member of the Connecticut swim club as well, and that was at the high school, not the new pool, the old school. And I don't know if it's changed, I don't know how it is now, and not that it couldn't be done, but I will say that we did practice a couple days a week, not right after, directly after school, but I would imagine at times on weekdays that people would want to use it as well as in the mornings on the weekends. So not that it can't be done, but it is definitely used pretty frequently by at least the Connecticut Swim Club. I don't know if there's any other clubs, different age groups or something, but my group that I was in there was in there very, very soon.
So Anthony, if you could just clarify, because what I heard from you is that a group, if they came in to use the pool, it really couldn't just be random community members because they're not carrying insurance. Like any PTA or any sports group that comes in, we actually fill out a form with the school district showing that we have our own insurance and that we are liable, obviously.
I can certainly look into it.
I don't make sure, because you had said two different things, so I just want to make sure that if it's open swim, we will not have insurance to cover that.
The district has insurance.
Right, but you said secondary, we should have.
If an outside organization comes in, the outside organization is using it, yes, they'll let you as an additional insurance, so if someone gets hurt in the suit, it's their insurance that's covering you, but you will always have insurance through NYSERDA.
Understood.
We'll take a look at that.
So all in favor? Aye. Aye. Any noes? Any abstentions? Can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 14 on the consent agenda, debt book? Motion? Second. Any questions? All in favor? Aye.
No.
Aye. Any noes? Ms. Parisi, any abstentions? Can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 15, extension of RFPs for nursing, occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, and educational services? Motion?
Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Any abstentions?
Abstaining.
Can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 16 on the consent agenda, summer contract for Suffolk Transportation Services? Motion.
Second.
Any questions?
Yeah, I quite frankly like to table this. We have enough issues.
Bob, can you please explain what this is for?
My question, Bob, is really, if you could, is this just so we could use them, or is it a guarantee of using them?
Yes, we will be using them starting July 6th for some of the summer program bus routes. The majority of the bus routes this coming summer will be done by our own drivers. However, we do not have enough of our own drivers who volunteered to take the remaining routes. Every driver was given an opportunity. Unfortunately, I believe it's about 10 routes that we do not have drivers for. So this will allow us to use Suffolk Transportation through an existing RFP.
And this is an increase in terms of our in-house drivers from last summer.
A significant increase, yeah.
Why in fact would we do that without, again, getting our bid for the, because there's Montauk, there's other companies. Why are we just going with Suffolk? That's a genuine question, I have no idea.
Yeah, when we did, and it's a great question, when we did the RFP, I believe 3 years ago, we only had 2 contractors respond. One of them was Suffolk Transportation, and the other one was Montauk. And based on the pricing, the district went with Suffolk.
And this is 2 years ago, you said?
I believe we're coming into the 3rd year with Suffolk on the RFP.
I feel like we should put an RFP for this event.
Just be advised that if we do not approve this right now, we will not have enough drivers to do the routes for the summer.
All in favor? Aye. Any abstentions?
I'm abstaining.
I'm going to abstain also. Any noes?
It puts me in a position where I was gonna abstain too. I mean, with everything going on,
Yeah,
and I don't want kids going on buses. I mean, it's like, what kind
Well,
of
well,
stuff here?
right, but I'm just tired of being back into corners and having to approve things, like, I'm not comfortable approving this. So I don't want to approve it, and I don't want kids to not have, this is an issue.
So,
That's my questioning,
Hold on, how do we handle this? Is there a way to do this where we can get, I guess, a speedy RFP, we can talk, I mean, because again, this is yet another problem.
right, that's my problem right now, is I said yes, only, like, all right, what happens, right, what happens, is my question. Let's say this does not go through, what do you call parents, sorry, like, good
No,
luck this
if
summer?
our attorney says we're stuck, then we have to do it, clearly, but I want to know what our attorney says, because you know the issues we're dealing with.
I think it would be very difficult to have to go out for an RFP now. We could certainly get a transportation consultant to come in to do that, but whether or not you're actually getting sufficient RFP responses and where they come in at, I think this type of timeline. If you need more information, we could always hold a special meeting. You don't have to adopt it tonight, but
Fine.
do, but we need to look into
All right, I pull my abstention, but I do it under duress, and I want that noted, okay? Because yet again, we're dealing with this same issue.
I feel the same way with that, and, you know, it seems like that happens often, where I almost look at this and say, what's the point of voting? We almost have no choice, because we're stuck here. The last thing I wanna do is stop children from being able to get to where they have to go. So, you know, again, same thing, I'll approve it because I want these kids to have a ride.
No,
But
I did it, so you keep yours. Do we have enough?
We have, Ms. Anatoli's a yes, I'm going to keep my abstention if you're changing yours. And Mr. Agosa was a yes, so.
Same though, like. because
Yeah, under
people
duress.
have to. Like,
With her hands tied.
The focus going into the summer house was to maximize our in-house drivers, and that's what, you know, we saw a significant increase from the previous summer. So in terms of, you know, backing in, this was meeting an objective to get as many of our drivers to take on these routes internally to minimize the outsourcing.
Also,
No.
did we maximize just by trying to, I don't know, inspire more drivers to drive in the summer, or did we look at the routing, make sure that it was the most efficient? Is there, how many kids are on a bus? Is there a way that maybe these two bus routes could have been combined so we don't need to outsource at all? Like, that's the stuff I feel like we need to be told to feel confident about some of this stuff. Like, we explored every avenue because maybe you guys did. Guess what? We don't know though, that happened. So that's why we are all saying that we feel like our hands are tied, because again, nobody wants to leave a kid without something for the summer because
We so don't wanna leave it, that I changed my vote, and that's pretty much unprecedented.
Correct. So are you gonna be abstention? Yeah.
No, I'm gonna say yes for the kids, it's all for the kids, that's it.
Yeah.
No, wait a second. Then I'm an abstain. You take your abstention. I'm doing it because we didn't have a vote.
Okay, so we do have the 3 yeses and the 2 abstentions. Okay. Yes. Can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 17 on the consent agenda, the bid analysis for the antenna installation project?
Motion.
Second. Any questions?
Yes. I don't know if that's you, John, can you explain this?
It's not, it's a technology initiative.
So I can start the conversation, and perhaps our tech department can help with some more details. So we have been replacing repeaters and also installing antennas throughout the district to try to improve the way we communicate, especially with our school buses as they're out on the road, and also our other district vehicles. So this is part of an ongoing project that we've been doing over the last few years to try to improve communication with our vehicles, mainly our vehicles.
All in favor?
No,
Nope.
wait, yet again, we don't know enough about this, okay? This is, this is like beating a dead horse.
All in favor? Any noes?
No.
Any abstentions? I'm going to abstain from this one. Ms. Anatoli, how did you vote?
I didn't.
Oh, that's why I probably want.
You know, I just,
Is there any additional
Table this or
information
move-
that we can provide?
like, what would make us say yes to this?
Not enough information at this table at this minute.
We're looking at you guys.
We were looking at the information on the board doc.
So I'm going to try to talk to you best I can. All right, so I'll try to explain what the repeater project is. Coming into the district, we had 2 different systems. I know we had one for security and one for the buses. One of our colleagues in our department has been working on consolidating both the systems. It also includes Bald Hill as well, so that's where the GPS for the buses operate from. Each one of these transponders in each one of the buildings just goes to improve the radio communication and streamlines everything so that everything is on one system. It changes also from analog to a digital-based system, so it ties into our network.
That helps me, it's analog and digital.
Yeah, so it's going from an older system and it's going into a digital system, and it's consolidating both the systems that we have into one. And we also had 2 vendors at one point, so we're now using one vendor.
And this is for the radios, right?
These are for the radios, correct.
Tell me yes.
Is it prudent to mix and match security with busing?
I don't know, that's a genuine question.
It's in the long run, it's gonna save money, so instead of having 2 components, you're gonna have 1 component. They work on different radio different channels, so it's almost like having a radio station. You have 1 antenna that may have multiple different stations off of it, so it works the same exact way.
And we've been, so what I'm inferring from what you're saying is that we have been having issues with the radios. Is that what you're saying? And that's why we're doing this?
There's been, I don't want to say issues, it's just organization of all of the different frequencies and channels. This is going to organize everything into one system, if that makes sense. So it's upgrading.
I think with security though, they have felt that in terms of range was an issue.
You said you had 2 vendors, now we're gonna have 1, which is going to be a cost savings to the community, and we're still keeping privacy due to the fact that we'll have several channels.
Correct.
Why in fact, Dr. C, would the issue with range be security? I would assume that would be the issue with transportation, because they're charging all over the place.
But we also have the rovers too that go between the buildings, and they have radios. So they would be able to take a radio between buildings, and they'd be able to use those at any building they need to. But yes, transportation with the buses district-wide, very important, 6 square miles or so.
Okay,
Any other
thank you.
questions?
Ms. Anselli? Ms. Anselli?
Yes.
I'm still abstaining. Mr. Rosa?
I'm still abstaining because as much as it sounds great long-term, if we aren't having issues and we are going through spending cuts maybe, let's not spend money if it ain't broke, don't fix it for the moment type thing.
I just want to make sure, just really quick, sorry. You said we're going to save money by doing this, correct?
Correct. Later. Right, later on. Later, but my issue is that we're gonna spend money now that we need to pull back.
And we've already actually started the project as well. So this
What?
is an
I just need you to go to the mic for the people at home.
Yeah, so there's already been parts.
I just need you to go.
Yeah, I'm not there. So there have been parts, components that have been installed as part of this project already. So there are
Really?
some.
You started this project without having it approved?
This was another vendor. I believe this RFP is for a new vendor.
So the project was started with a different vendor at one point? Can somebody just explain that and?
So
I didn't
so
mean
this is to continue the installation?
So we started with a vendor, IWT. They were doing the build out of the repeaters at each building. And Bob, do you want to, I don't know if you could talk a little more about this as well?
I'm not familiar with all of the intricate details, especially from a tech perspective. I do know that over the course, I'll say at least over the last 2 years, we have replaced repeaters that are located up at Bald Hill. We lease, I'll say, space up at Bald Hill to be able to have our repeaters up there. And then I believe we've also installed additional repeaters in maybe possibly 2 school buildings.
Correct.
So that's new, so that has helped enhance the system, so we have a more reliable way of communicating on radio, security, school buses.
Correct.
So can we table it and we'll get more of the history with the various vendors and the work that's been done over the last couple of years and where that work is leading with this bid?
I'd like some evidence-based stuff that this was actually voted on, whether it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 60 seconds ago, I want some more information.
I am okay with tabling it. I also would like to know if, not that I want to do something where hands are tied yet again, but like if we don't proceed forward with something we already started, how does that impact communication between buses, the security and all that stuff? So,
And is this aided and
Like,
things of
I-
that
like-
nature?
I'm okay with tabling it, but like I just want to make sure that we're also not going to leave our buses in a bind where their radios are going to have
Their
issues
radios
because
will
we
be fine right now.
started with something.
I'm okay with tabling it. Can I have a motion and a second to table item number 17, bid analysis for repeater and antenna installation? Motion?
Second.
All in favor for tabling it?
Aye.
Aye. All right, can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 18 on the consent agenda, consult service agreement for Educational Service Commission of New Jersey? Motion?
Second.
Any questions?
Yeah, could someone explain that a little better? Is this pertaining to Leonard? Ms. Poppy, is that under you? This was at least by the
Yeah, this is student services, with a student who had to be hospitalized, one of our students in New Jersey.
Must have been before my time.
So this isn't a contract though, how could this be consultant for agreement? Doesn't, I don't know how that makes sense.
Let me take a look at it.
Yeah, I know that this was a late addition because we had a student in New Jersey that had to receive health intervention, and in order to have those services addressed, we had to have this consultant agreement brought forward.
More information, what is pertaining to this. If this is about a specific student or a specific issue, I clearly need more information about this, because this is about continued,
Yeah,
if I'm
I'm
reading
okay
this
with
correctly, continued services. If that's the case, fine. If that's the case, fine. But it's vague at best.
So we'll get further details.
Is there a way to table it? I mean, it's just so crazy that it's on here and no one has an answer. Can I have a motion and a second to table item number 18, consultant service agreement?
Motion.
Motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. It was just, George signed, Mr. Stein put it on, so we have to consult. Well, yes. Can I have a motion and a second to approve item number 19 on the consent agenda, Grant River Solutions?
Motion. Second.
Any questions? All in favor?
Hang on, I'm a little lost.
So this was just added in exec from our conversation from exec?
How we know?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes?
No.
Any abstentions?
I'm going to abstain just because I was not at that part of the exec, and I don't, this is my first time seeing it.
Yep.
So I'm abstaining for that reason.
Ms. Di Lorenzo, you were a yes? No, Ms. Di Lorenzo.
Oh, yeah, I'm a yes.
Yes, okay, so you have the 3 yeses, a no, and an abstention. Now, we are up to the superintendent's update. Dr. Senma.
Thank you, Mrs. Mallon. So we put out a communication, I put out a communication to the community based on the board's desire to start a budget advisory committee. And so far, we've had about 40 people in the district express interest to be on this committee. I've responded to them to let them know that the district will be in touch shortly with some further information. So, just putting it out to the board based on this initial expression of interest. How would the board like to proceed at this point? Do we want to talk about setting up an initial meeting date over the summer? What are the thoughts of the board on this?
I mean, I wanted to start it as soon as possible, and anybody that showed interest be included, so.
How can we do that? One
Yeah,
year?
40 people, Dr. Senma.
No.
Oh, how?
We're having an audit where we call the comptroller. How do we get a,
Budget advisory committee?
yeah, well, we have no answers ourselves yet. I'm sorry, that's a genuine question, I don't know.
I would like to see the committee start to be formed, for sure.
I'm all about the committee, but
You want to discuss it at the reorg meeting and set up.
That sounds good.
Set up a meeting date with the committee, perhaps at the high school or one of the buildings that will, be able to sit people comfortably for that size of a committee. We could have an initial meeting, for the end of July or early August.
Why don't we bat it around and vote it? Right?
That sounds great, Dr. Senma. Fantastic.
With the passing of the state budget, we'll be reaching out to families now with UPK, as we're going to be opening up the additional sections. And so the schools will be, we have one section being added to Idle Hour, and then we have Slocum, and what was the other?
No, we have one section being added at Idle Hour and 2 sections at Duffield.
Duffield,
This
right.
represents an increase from the last time we provided the update, which is really beneficial for the community. We'll start to make those notifications tomorrow.
This was significant with the state because they've increased the per student allotment of the aid that we're able to take advantage of. And I know families are anxious to hear about whether or not they are no longer on a wait list and then what the location is being offered.
so how many sections do we have now? It was 13, I think, last year, right?
That's correct, and we're moving to 16 for 26-27.
Okay.
The great news is we'll be able to accommodate every applicant for the program with a spot.
Oh, everybody, so there's not any, so all the wait list is, okay, right. And you said tomorrow?
Tomorrow we'll
Okay,
see.
very good. Anxiously waiting to see where they're gonna go. So-
Tomorrow we will begin those notifications.
So in terms of iReady, that's our diagnostic that we use grades elementary up through 8th grade. Later this month, we will provide parents and guardians and elementary age students who access iReady diagnostic performance reports via the assessment tab in the eSchool parent portal. These reports will encompass students' fall, winter, and spring performance on the iReady diagnostic assessment. Prior to their release on the parent portal, Mrs. Poppy will communicate with parents and guardians and elementary age students regarding the content of these reports, which includes specific ways that families can continue to support their children's growth in the areas of reading and mathematics, which is significant in terms of that home-to-school connection and the family's ability to reinforce what's happening in the school. Obviously, we heard today with the outstanding student presentations that we have every varsity program, a scholar athlete program. Congratulations to Mr. Mallory, all of our coaches, and all of our students. That's a tremendous accomplishment. This year, we're going to have over 250 students receive a seal of civic readiness. This is accomplished through related course completion in areas such as Regents performance, research, work-based, and civics projects. So congratulations to all those students. We recently had a restoration project for the wetlands over on Shore Road in Oakdale. This was a collaboration with our High School Science Honor Society and our 4th grade Idle students. And it also involved a tremendous learning opportunity from Save the Great South Bay organization on the importance of oysters and how they help to form a natural reef barrier. So that was a wonderful opportunity. Once again, a thank you to Mr. Kassane, our Director of Social Studies and Business, and all the staff involved with the America 250 celebrations that have been happening across the district. It will continue next week. The high school just recently had a wonderful gathering outdoors, and all the buildings have done something very special. It was just highlighted in Newsday, and a radio recording for Long Island Spotlight that will actually air on August 1 on 103.9. We recently had Athletic Senior Awards, OB&S Awards. Last night, a wonderful BOCES program graduation ceremony. Obviously, this time of year, there are ceremonies galore, moving up ceremonies with our 5th graders and 8th graders, kindergarten ceremonies, and of course, the big culmination with our senior graduating class. So very exciting, very busy time here with a lot of different activities. What I'd like to do now is to talk about a couple of things. I know one is a committee topic. Would you like me to wait till we talk about the committee? All right. So one of them is Go Guardian, and we have our curriculum committee update, so we're going to hold off on that until the curriculum committee. And the other one is on scholarship versus a MOVE comparison. So our high school, to check in students as they arrive to school in the morning, and also students who will go into the cafeteria and the library. They've used for a number of years a program called Scholarship, and the program has had reliance issues. The service with the program has been a concern, and the high school would like to go into a different direction with another program that they looked at, they vetted with in collaboration with IT. There was a feeling a few months back that, in terms of scholarship, that scholarship would no longer be able to support the program. They actually can still support it, but the concern has been with their customer service. In fact, we were able to get the BOCES administrative fee, right, Ms. Poppy, reimbursed for this year because of the problems with the service with scholarship. There was a discussion several months back that perhaps the high school would be able to do without it, but there's no in-house system that we could create to kind of duplicate this. So there is the opportunity to either continue with scholarship for another year and have these other product move further vetted, perhaps through the IT committee. The high school would certainly like to see us go to MOVE and be able to do it on a very basic level. One of the things that was looked at several months ago was something much more enhanced and robust, and that was certainly cost prohibitive. But on a very basic level, to be able to switch to MOVE, and you can see the cost comparison, whether to stay with scholarship or to switch to MOVE, it's fairly close.
Does the MOVE estimate include new badges? Do we have to get new student IDs? Because I know that they're compatible with scholarship right now. Would they automatically be compatible with MOVE,
or would we need new IDs? And again, is it incorporated into that cost?
So we are told that the cards are compatible. That would be something that would have to be, the proof would be in the pudding once it actually started, but we are told it is compatible. We do have a large stock of the cards available. In terms of this cost, there's no need right now to order additional cards. So that would be a future cost, but that would be with either product moving forward. I will say in terms of the move estimate that this includes those kiosks, 4 kiosks, and that those are one-time purchases, and so the cost would actually come down, unless of course there was a desire to expand the utilization, but.
Okay, so my thing is that it's essentially too late to utilize MOVE, okay? Yet we had visits in December, okay, to a couple of schools, meetings that were back in February as well, where Liz Weiss was very clear when she said it needed to be, some issues needed to be worked out, okay? But before September, essentially it had to be implemented, or it's starting to be implemented. Okay, so what I know is we were told that scholarship was cut with no replacement, when in fact it started back in December looking to utilize MOVE. And here we are, again, after the 11th hour, with nothing. So could someone explain to me, I mean, clearly there's issues with scholarship, okay? But why in fact didn't we utilize the information that was given to us by this woman, Liz Weiss?
And why wouldn't before we brought in scholarship, we had a trial period to see how it would work. Why would we not do the same thing with MOVE? And why would we wait till two board members were at a committee meeting to find out that scholarship was cut, A, first of all, and then wait till the 11th hour to then tell the board that it's too late to bring in MOVE, which is crazy.
No, wait until June then.
It's not too late to bring MOVE, and it's certainly not too late to continue with scholarship. Back in
She was very clear though, Dr. Sid, okay, that it had to be implemented or starting to implement it over the course of this time. It was indisputable that it needed to be.
If I may chime in a bit here, because I've been close to all of the conversations that have just been referenced. That conversation that Ms. Parisi is speaking to did occur earlier this spring. However, the product components that were being considered at that time were much more expensive than what is included in this proposal. So MOVE has a lot of capabilities, including, but not limited to, check-ins at various locations throughout the school. And the package that was being eyed by the high school at the time included a much more expansive capability. We returned to the table twice to kind of have this larger discussion about both scholarship and MOVE. We have been successful in contacting scholarship finally. It did take some time over the course of this spring. The component features that we currently have in-house of scholarship are functioning to the best of their ability at this point. So we really are in a place where we can make a decision to move, and I apologize for the word move, to use either MOVE or a scholarship next year successfully. I know you're not asking for a suggestion here, but it may be worthwhile to take a closer look at all of those component features of MOVE, because they are different from what scholarship has over the course of time next school year, while maintaining scholarship, which again is functioning currently for just one more year, and then looking to move forward with the input of the Technology Advisory Committee into a different direction.
Just a thought for consideration.
So, just to clarify, the numbers up there are comparative, okay? But, please. And, in fact, this was discussed about starting to slowly implement move in. It was discussed back in December, okay? So, while you're saying it's more moving components and so on and so on, up there on that screen, it's a comparative number. So, again, it doesn't make sense that something was cut without the board's knowledge, okay? And then we were told that something else is going to be put in its place, and here we are after the 11th hour when apparently it's too late to utilize move. And I feel like I'm getting a shell game. This is this and this is that, but the fact of the matter is, you guys put those numbers up there. That 18,000 and a comparative number, 18,000 with a couple hundred, whatever. You see what I'm saying? Like, that's not, the 2 and 2 is not equaling 4 for me.
So what was being discussed back in, I guess, February was much more enhanced utilization of move and a cost factor that was probably 3 times or more of this. It was also thought that in terms of scholarship, they wouldn't be able to support the product. And so it did, they didn't seem to be met.
You're saying that what company said they wouldn't be able to support?
Well, you know what, I just want to clarify. We did, as I mentioned, we did have some difficulties and challenges related to scholarship. They have been cleared up. The company was not responsive, and through the deliberate efforts of Ms. Weiss and our technology department, our IT department, we have made a lot of inroads with the product. Move represents what we think will be a better product for us. In the course of, since that initial conversation about Move, we've asked that the scholarship and Move estimates be relatively similar. So we've asked Move to pare down their estimate, their product estimate, to reflect exactly the usage capabilities that are existing in the high school currently. So currently we have 4 card readers at the high school, and we asked Move what would it cost for just that bare bones, bare necessity type of mechanism to take place with your product. Move came back with the quote that you see on the screen, so that we can make a sort of a comparison here. They are at similar cost for 26-27, which is good news. However, Move does have these enhanced capabilities that we would like to eventually explore moving forward.
You see where my issue is.
I do.
Right?
I understand what you're saying.
Where, again, we were told that it was cut, not replaced with anything. I do my due diligence, and I find out, in fact, there was a company that was brought in December. You didn't just go to the high school, apparently they went to a couple of different schools, okay? And also guided as to what needed to be done, and that if you started essentially then, when they first came in, then it could have been slowly implemented, okay? Again, 2 and 2 is not equaling 4 for me. I understand what you're saying, okay? I'm having another issue with it being after the 11th hour, okay? And we are now, according to administration, going back to the failing one.
We can implement Move if we wanted to.
Well, we don't have the money. And we don't have the time, which is the real.
We were supposed to start implementing it back in the beginning of the year, and we did not. So yeah, we can do it wrong and do it now, and maybe spend double the money, if I'm hearing correctly. But the fact of the matter is, yet again.
So for me personally, I was on the
technology community, and I will say that anything that was presented came with a lot of research back behind it, so I do trust them to get back to us with those answers. My thing is, I understand why we would go to Move and be like, how do you make it comparable to what we have? But like, I'm sick of having to like dial things back also to the bare bones. I understand we don't have the money, but I'm looking on Move's website and there's a lot of features on here that look like they would be amazing to have, and it's just, it feels why. This is why we're being so particular about all of these things at this point, so that when we see something that we like and we want to utilize to its full capacity, we have the ability to. And that's what bothers me about it, because I feel like we run into this wall a lot too, where it's like, okay, well, we have the like, let's just make it so that it, like, we want to excel. Like, we want to spend our money in ways that make us better, not just ways that make us sustain. And I would like to, I'm looking on Move's website, and there's like a ticker, like a little scroller of all these districts that are very closely surrounding us that utilize Move. I would like for us to reach out and find out what features they're utilizing and how they found that they benefit them. It's like Hopog, Smithtown, Bayport, Blue Point, like they're right next to us. So like I would like to start there, because for all we know, we're asking them to dial it back bare bones, but is there ways that we would save money other places by utilizing some of these features that they have?
Or even just going to that school.
To see it in action, right? Like that's what I'm saying. Like I don't love making.
Nobody on the board was invited to see it.
I don't love making all of our directors in different realms, not just technology, kind of like.
School administrators did do that?
Well, right. I have no idea, right? I mean, I just. We know that there was some concern with scholarship from the beginning, so I know that, like, I'm sure many of us would like to see it. My thing is, I just don't want our directors to feel like they're so, when they have an initiative, they have to find a way to boil it down to get it through. Like, I want them to be able to excel at their jobs, too, so it doesn't look like we're like, well, why did they only bring in, like, Move with 4 features? Like, because it comes back on that. That's my only thing. I feel like we have this conversation a lot where it's like, we have to pull it back. I would like to see us make things make a lot more sense.
So a lot of my concerns with, well, I don't want to say with Move because I have to look into it. My concerns with scholarship were, well, there were many, but one of the things was the capabilities to track students' wellness, behavioral discipline. Is that a feature? And I don't know that we would actually do that scholarship, but I don't want that Move to do that. That was one of my biggest things with scholarship, was tracking that. I felt that wasn't right. Do you have more information about that part of it?
That's certainly not a component feature that we were even entertaining, not on the table at all. The
Okay.
functionality would be exactly what the functionality is now. Thank you for asking.
I genuinely fear that we're missing the forest for the trees. It's, again, past the 11th hour, okay? This cannot continue.
You're not looking for a vote tonight.
No, I do want to be able to give the high school, some guidance, and certainly IT. We can continue with scholarship for a year.
Or what's the alternative? Can we do Move?
We could transition to Move based on this basic package. And then-
Ms. Weiss, do you feel that you'd be comfortable moving to Move?
Or were we supposed to start earlier?
Sorry, that's to put you,
Gosh,
aren't you glad you stayed? That's to put you in the hot seat.
She should have ran. Timeline, I think.
I am very glad that I stayed. In my humble opinion, it is very important for me as a leader and as an IT leader to ensure that all stakeholders have a voice in every decision that is made across the district. I use the Technology Advisory Committee, which two of you are a part of, and I really appreciate your participation in order to make these really important technology decisions. It would be my hope that if we're going to make these kind of big moves moving forward, that we can utilize that Technology Advisory Committee to be able to review this with multiple stakeholders, our community members, our teachers, our parents, to be able to decide if Move is the correct move for us, to have those site visits and to get that community feedback so that we can ensure that we are all comfortable, and then to have that time to be able to pilot it within the high school, so that while we are piloting it, if there are any specific kinks to work out in our specific situation, we can take care of that on a smaller scale before instituting that on a larger scale. That would be my recommendation. However, if the board feels that they would like to move, as we did experience issues with scholarship this year, in particular, their ability to be able to link to eSchool in their customer service, I would support any decision that the board makes in being able to make ConnectQuad as successful as possible.
So what kind of a timeline are you looking at, saying, like, if we wanted to move this September?
Yes, so our contract would end July 1st, so we would have to make sure that we were able to institute that before the students come back in September. We have been told that the scholarship cards work, so we wouldn't have to reprint any cards, but we would have to get the kiosks up and running and do some testing within the department to be able to move that over for the start of school.
I personally think this needs to be vetted more, and I agree with Mrs. Weiss. First, recommendation of piloting it, going to the community, speaking all about it, and figuring it out.
Yeah, I was similar, like, go ahead.
Sorry, it's just not fair, right? It's not fair to ask you to just pilot this quickly. And I would want to do something not haphazardly and not just to get it out there. We should just get it started, because July 1st is coming, you know? So I appreciate your answer, and I thank you for your honesty.
Of course.
I was similarly going to say, I don't want to, this is not the type of thing I feel like, yeah, sure, they said the cards will work, and we're not going to know until the moment's happening, and then lo and behold, they don't, right? Like, God forbid, but like, that's how the world works, right? But with that, I would like to know a little bit about other districts that are using this, what features they're using that they found helpful, and I'm sure some of them have been like, wish we didn't do this, add on, like, you know what I mean? It's not as helpful, because I want to know what we could get out of it, what it could potentially save us otherwise if we're using whatever for this. Oh, look, this has that compatibility, we can get rid of another platform that we didn't necessarily need. So I would much rather the time to like really look into it, and then similar to scholarship, there can be a presentation to the community when we are ready to make the move to move.
I want the board to be assured that I did reach out to those other districts that are listed on the website. We did do several site visits as well to see what issues the district had integrating Move into their district, as well as what positive outcomes they had. So although that would be a part of the Technology Advisory Committee's mission to also review that as well, that was looked into previously.
In terms of continuing with scholarship, there's no issue to continue with revenue.
No, it would act as normal. While we do have limited support and it does not integrate with eSchool, the functionality would be exactly the same. It is currently operational, and we do have one of our IT staff members consistently monitoring to ensure that we don't have any future hiccups along the way.
So now, because I'm of course concerned about the timeline, I don't want to fall into this trap again a year from now, where we're like, oh, now it's too late. What timeline would you need to have that community input so that we can make a well-informed decision on this product? To say, like, let's pilot it for the 27-28 year.
Similar to my Technology Advisory Committee this year, it begins in October, and that would be the charge or the mission of the committee. So we would begin in October with the site visits, the review of the products that are available, and then after that, we would be able to establish a pilot. Before February would be the best timeline. That way we can get some teachers trained, get the things into the classroom, and be able to start from there.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I would love to go to one of those schools, just see in action.
They were very welcoming, so I'm sure they would love to have us. I just want to add, because I did hear the question, what are the issues we're experiencing with scholarship? We are experiencing issues with the integration with eSchool, which you know is our student integration, student management system. As far as that being our SIS, because of that, when students are entering and exiting the building, and also when they're going to the different areas of the school, perhaps the library or the cafeteria, they're not showing up correctly. So it may show up that they're not supposed to be in an area when they are, are. It's also not showing their free periods or their scheduling correctly, and that's the point of the functionality of scholarship. When we call to scholarship for support, there is one individual, one tech that services the entire Northeast coast. So we do not get the support that we need in our technology department to be able to service scholarship appropriately. So that is why we have to move. Also, it's a cost savings to the district. So that was why we considered a move on from scholarship.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, that's always been the issue with scholarship.
Since I inherited it, that's what I noted.
Keith, but my point is, that's always been the issue, correct?
From my inheritance of it.
Also, just throwing this into the universe, isn't e-school in and of itself awful?
E-school?
It's difficult, my understanding is it's, not even that, it's just the integration from e-school to something else is a very complex thing.
It would be a huge undertaking. It's actually not awful. Many wonderful districts utilize e-school. I think there's a lot of training that can happen with our parents and our staff in utilizing it to its full potential. But it is not an awful product, and it is not one of the products that was breached either, which is also huge.
Okay, because my thing is I also just don't want to make moves around one
Understood.
platform if it's not working the best it could, because although it might be a massive undertaking, if it ends up being a worthwhile one, it would be a conversation we need to have. I just don't want us to, I'm sick of us getting stuck in places that we don't want to be, right? Like, that's why I was asking, but.
So can we continue with scholarship and then have this vetted through the technology committee? We're on the high school now. We'll save another item for the committee discussion, and once again, congratulations to our graduating class, and also want to always do my shout out and thank you to our PTA and SEPTA, all of our athletic boosters, our youth leagues, our Rotary and Civics for all that you do for our students, staff, and community.
Thank you. We have our Board of Ed committee reports, health and safety, Ms. Di Lorenzo and Ms. Parisi.
Okay, I'm gonna try to, right at the end, John, jump in if anything. But I think, the HVAC and electrical should be up and running by Labor Day for John Thoreau, Idlewild, and Slocum. We've been working on that. We also have the high school roofing project still set to begin after graduation. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. And also there's an acid waste reconfiguration that we're moving over to gray water in the science thing in the high school. That's from, I think that was there a date on that? No date on that, but that's something that they are working on.
It would be summer work.
It's summer work, okay. Also the ADA stage lifts for Cherokee, Slocum, John Paul Boston, and Idlewild should be ready this September. We're still talking to that.
Correct. Idlewild and Cherokee, we're waiting for the phone connections that hopefully will happen in the next week. So we'll have a chance to put them to test and see how they work. And then because of the impact to the building, certain other lifts we need to wait till the summer, just because of where they're going to be and how to configure all the stages.
And also the high school upper turf, that's going to be replaced, late fall, early winter, is that right?
So I actually just approved the requisition this morning. So now we need to, I'll work with the AD to make sure we get the game lines correct. Make sure we have a drop dead date for the vendor to finish, because we might try to push this to get it done for fall sports.
Oh, wow, okay.
So
Okay.
I don't know that as of yet, but hopefully I will be able to let you know definitively by the week.
Okay. And also there's HVAC work in Idlewild cafeteria and middle school, both middle schools?
Correct.
It was both middle schools.
Both gymnasiums in the middle school.
Okay, and we're looking, one at Idlewild should be done by September, and then the middle schools, it's been approved by fall, is that going to be done?
Correct. So all those additional projects have now been approved. These are projects that were not part of the initial scope of the 22 bond, but because of savings that we were able to realize over the past several years, we've been able to augment the program and the work a little bit to add air conditioning in the Idle Hour cafeteria. That's the last one in the district that does not have air conditioning, and also air conditioning in middle school gymnasiums. So everything's SCD approved. We're in the process of gathering quotes and all the information that's needed for that. As soon as we have POs in place, then I can start working with the contractor to find out delivery times for the equipment. Sometimes this stuff comes with long lead times. My hope is that this equipment is pretty much off the shelf in 4 to 6 weeks, so we might actually get some functionality of it this fall.
Excellent, okay. And there was also was it the HERA is that the asbestos one?
It is,
Asbestos
yep.
inspection that's done twice a year, and I think the high school just finished, right? For one of the inspections?
They did, and the entire district's being done by the end of this week.
Okay. Another thing that we talked about, the RMS parking lot, the lights, we're fixing something, five of them that they have a short, and we're gonna try to replace, well, some of them are like really in there, but cement.
Yeah, so the perimeter lighting here at RMS, we're on light poles, and there was a dead short someplace in the parking lot, so we weren't able to locate it, but we came up with a plan of utilizing the power that is the constant feed to the solar and directing it down to the parking lot. I'm not 100% sure if we've restored all 5 of those light locations. I know we did 3 of them as of the health and safety meeting. So when tonight's ending, I'm going to need you going out there to check to see if the last 2 have been done.
So you don't know where the shorts are? Are you doing it like you would do?
We're bypassing the short.
Are you doing it the way, let's say, someone would do a sprinkler system, turning one off and?
So the power comes out of the boiler room and then it runs underneath the parking lot, and then it runs to each of the different light poles. There's 2 different circuits out there. The problem we have is we know that the short is someplace between the boiler room and the first pole. Short of starting to tear up the parking lot, which is a massive undertaking and an expensive project, we found a way to circumvent it and utilize the power that's off the solar powered panels. There's lighting underneath those, and we're now directing new LEDs out into the area. And thankfully, our guys were able to do all that work.
Great, nice, very nice.
Oh yeah, we were also looking at the fencing around from the school sycamore anti-climb enclosure. That should be done by the end of this month?
Yeah, we're going to try to get the vendor in on the weekend.
Excellent. Okay, and Duffield too, the fencing over there, we looked at. Another thing that we're talking about is the bus double swipe pedestal.
Correct.
Because the buses, some of them are, they're, different heights, so they're having trouble swiping their car. That is, and that one is, it's ready to install at this point, okay.
Everything's ready to install. The only thing is we still have a couple of the minibuses that they have not converted. They don't have a license plate reader. Some of the minibuses do not have a forward license plate. So we have to secure the license plate, otherwise the card reader that's going to be the new system to open up the automatic gate after 5 o'clock at night will not recognize it.
Okay.
So I know that they're close to being done. We have all the materials. Once again, that's something we're going to do in-house with plant facilities as well as technology.
Okay, that's great, because a lot of these projects, we have our own guys doing it.
Oh, tremendous amount.
Tremendous amount.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Bullying Prevention Task Force, Ms. DiLorenzo and Ms. Parisi.
Did you want to go first?
No, you do it.
Okay. All right, so we went over the mission statement and the goals for next year. The goals which are directly in line with the board goals that have been adopted to create a safe and accessible process that empowers students to report concerns or challenges comfortably and confidentially. Another one to implement I'm sorry, it's very late, I'm very tired. I really think. To implement a sustainable district-wide character building and bullying prevention curriculum across all grade levels. The objective next year to create and promote a safe and respectful school culture by methods of prevention, education, and promptly responding to bullying situations in a consistent manner. So we went over that. We talked about the district-wide school-based teams August, September, there'll be some meetings, district-wide initial meetings, and we have to discuss objectives, identify goals, problem areas in the school culture, the features that need to be addressed. There'll be staff training on current bully prevention policy and the staff responsibilities. They were talking about doing a student welcome back assembly in the secondary level. Your words matter. Something to, get the students involved, and of course having the students involved, another initiative which is still going strong. The student ambassador trainings with LICAB will go to select group of high school and middle school students. They're going to be continuing with that next year. This year they just piloted to the 3rd grade, so they're going to expand that even more. Coming up, there is the LICAB Caring Leaders Breakfast. That's actually this week, June 11th at 8 a.m. student services to really, focus on those students that are student ambassadors and to thank them for everything that they did. Another event that's coming up, of course, Community Wellness Day in September. Cannot wait for that. For the EASL program, phase 2 of implementation will occur in September 2026. We have a summer curriculum writing that's going to be taking place with LICAB over the summer. And I also want to just bring up some recognition that this wasn't there, but this came out of all the mental health initiatives and everything that we've done. We actually had a ConnectWat alumna, Emma Zinkowski, who earned the Gold Award for Girl Scouts. And she had a pamphlet that she had done, When Seconds Count, a Teen's Guide to Health Emergencies. It was on display at the library, and she actually attributes such tremendous success to her mentor, Dr. Pisani. It's really a fantastic and wonderful achievement. So I wanted to highlight, she doesn't go to our school anymore, but wonderful achievement by her. And also I want to bring up that Dr. Pisani has been recognized as LICAB's 2026 School Hero. And it's a prestigious recognition that's awarded to individuals who have demonstrated exceptional commitment to creating a safe and inclusive environment for all students, embodying the values of kindness, empathy, and leadership. So huge congratulations to her, because that's a wonderful, wonderful honor and recognition. And they also talked about combining the Mental Health Advisory Council, bully, and this meeting, because they do overlap so much. So much of what we do in the Mental Health Advisory Council is focused on bully prevention. So we talked about doing that as well.
So maybe that's something we could set up for next year, so at the reorg, we only do one instead of one. Are we allowed to combine?
Because I don't know how, because my brain is half firing off right now. I thought that the reason, when I brought this up last time, I thought we had them separate because as part of their, we have to have the bullying prevention.
Yeah, you're right.
It had something to do with the fact that we had to have something specific to bullying prevention, and it was within a policy. I mean, I think it would be more change than just combining the two. I think there's other factors we would have. I'm not saying it's not possible, but I don't think it's just as simple as.
Combining the bully prevention task force and the mental health committee. Okay, so we can definitely look into it. All right, curriculum meeting, that is myself and April. So we had a combo curriculum / technology meeting. Ms. Poppy brought in Ms. Weiss to talk to us. And so at the meeting, they were discussing Securely, which is the system that is used now on the children's laptops and iPads, that whenever they have some kind of mental issues, or there's self-harm issues or threat prevention, it sets an alert off to administration, who can then contact the parents and the child and the student and take care of that. So the district is looking to go from Securely to GoGuardian, which GoGuardian is a new platform similar to Securely. Securely has some issues, technology issues, that now with GoGuardian, they would likely mitigate. But Dr. Senimore wanted to discuss it. He's been itching to talk about it, so I'm going to let him discuss.
Sure. Sabrina, if you wouldn't mind pulling up that slide again. So all our students, as Mrs. Mallon, the top one, there you go. They get their Chromebook devices, and we have, basically since the rollout with COVID, the platform securely, it's a filtering system to help prevent any access to inappropriate sites. But as Mrs. Mallon said, it also provides alerts that, administration receives notifications that they can, especially something of a heightened type of alert that they could act upon. Particularly, this is after school, so that there could be that parental outreach component. Securely is very pricey. It's not aidable, and it's not the most reliable in terms of the alert system and how they categorize the alerts. The professionals that they have behind the scenes. So this was something that was vetted this year. It was something that was highlighted in our mid-year newsletter, that the district is transitioning now to GoGuardian at a significant cost savings, and there's also a piggyback component as well. That is aidable, so that's on top of that. That's a tremendous benefit. The behind-the-scenes people that are looking at what the kids are doing. Again, this is after hours on district devices, the things that they're searching for, or the comments that they're making. There are the mental health certified individuals, and there are just a lot more enhanced features that the district can tap into and utilize in terms of that parental outreach. The concern is if an administrator at any level, myself, Ms. Poppy, our directors, principals, assistant principals, we all have gotten on the phone with parents at the wee hours, when school's not in session. It's the concern about missing something because you don't see the email, you don't see the alerts. So there are these enhanced features. And there's also the classroom benefit in terms of when it's in class and the teacher's ability to manage. So, you can see that there's a tremendous cost savings, and there's the aidability factor as well. There's an add-on component that's separate from GoGuardian that helps, it's called Student Safety Alerts, that helps to address that piece that I was talking about. That's at a separate cost, about $3 per student, that can be able to provide those alerts to parents when administration would not be able to see it. And so the combined cost is still looking at about $69,000, $70,000 savings, plus the ability to get aid on it as well. So this is something that has been vetted, and the district is transitioning to this, and we'll look to communicate that in the summer in preparation for the new school year.
And there's also a feature that they have counselors with GoGuardian that are there to answer some of the alerts that might come up. So in case, we don't expect our administrators to be on full 24/7, 365, so that is a feature with GoGuardian, so that's great. And that was actually the whole meeting, was GoGuardian versus Securely, so thank you, Dr. Senmore. All right, Board of Ed topics, district updates, Ms. Iantelli.
So as many of you know, I usually do shout-outs during my district updates, so this is my ultimate shout-out. Tonight is my official last meeting as a board member. I would like to say it's been a true pleasure to serve our community. I gave a lot, I learned a lot, and I grew as a person from this experience. I'm incredibly grateful to have been given this opportunity. As many of you know, my youngest is also a senior this year. After many decades, I will officially no longer be a current Connecticut parent. That realization is bittersweet. This community and school district have been a significant part of my family's life. I want to take a moment to thank all the staff, past and present, for everything you've done over the years. To every teacher, administrator, coach, and support staff member who has touched my children's lives in a positive way. You have all made a lasting impact. Your dedication, care, and encouragement have helped shape who they are today, and for that, I'm truly thankful. I know I won't be able to name everyone, but I would like to take a moment to recognize some individuals who were especially significant in helping my children and many others grow and believe in themselves. It truly does take a village, and I have been fortunate to be part of one that shows up, cares deeply, and makes a difference every single day. Cheryl Sosa, this woman goes above and beyond for so many students in our district. She takes students to Europe over breaks, affording opportunities they may not have again, always supporting my girls when they needed someone. A true diamond. Ms. Bedell, Ms. Wiseman, depending on when you were here, all three of my kids have her. She sees the best in students, offers encouragement, and lets them know to always believe in themselves. She encourages them to reach high, dream big, be the best version of you. Ms. Fager, I don't think they make them any nicer than you. You make kids feel accepted and worthy. Ms. Fisher, Ms. Drizel, Ms. Lenahan, Mr. Edwards, Mr. Fisher, Mr. Berger, Mr. Russo, truly amazing teachers, out-of-the-box thinkers who are truly touched every student and understand their needs. Shout out to the social studies crew. Mr. B, Ms. Lombardi, Ms. McGinnis, Ms. Sienna, Ms. Dean, Ms. Lavanakis, Senor Arias. What a group. You all brought different things to the table, but each and every one of you impacted the students in a positive way. We are lucky to have such a strong foreign language group. Coach Crowley, Hafner, Austin, Shelby, Kavanaugh, Melfi, Goodwin, Berger, Fisher, and friends. Thank you for giving the extra time and being a positive influence to all ConnectWatt athletes. To Mr. DeFaz and Ms. Rapone, thank you for being virtual enterprise to ConnectWatt and giving students a glimpse into their future. Ms. Dosh, Ms. Dean, Mr. Austin, Ms. D'Agostino, Mr. Crusoe, you've all made science come alive in different ways. As my daughter says, when your legs give out, run with your heart. It's an inside joke for Austin. Ms. Constantine, Mr. Crowley, Ms. Dulce, Ms. Cassane, wow, sums it up. No pun intended. Math is hard, and all of you were able to reach students and help them understand the concepts a little better. My oldest said calculus in college was so easy because she took Dulce's class. Mr. Melfi, Mr. Leonard, Mr. Friends, Ms. Schul, Ms. West, Mr. Oldest. My kids were always thankful to have you as a gym teacher. You all made a lasting impression. Thank you for being you. Ms. Malinowski, Gia's confidant, the person she could count on no matter what. I can't thank you enough for helping her get through the last 4 years. Mr. Rapone, Mr. Majewski, Ms. Oz, Mr. Oz, Ms. Ritter, and Ms. Williams. What amazing art teachers. Thank you for teaching the kids to color outside the lines and see what no one else sees. Shout out to the Boston crew, past and present. Barbara Whitestone, Laura Kimball, Ms. Whitson, Mr. Volper, Ms. Crouchek, Ms. McManaman, Ms. Keys, McNixon, and so many more. The kids were blessed to have you as educators. To all the principal, directors, and APs, it's been a pleasure working with you. Thank you for your dedication. To all the office staff and bathroom monitors, thank you for always listening to the students and being a needed smile throughout the day. All of our custodial staff, all through the years, the countless extras you did for the PTA and students, always going above and beyond to help. All of security, my kids knew you by your first names. They looked forward to seeing you in the morning when they arrived, in the afternoon when they left. Special shout out to the retired security guard Woody. He truly cared about each and every kid that walked through OBMS. Thank you to all the parents and families who volunteer, give their time, donate, or just show up. It makes a world of difference in so many kids' lives. Thank you to Joe, the cabinet, Melissa, Marisol. It was a pleasure working with you all and forging some beautiful friendships. I know I've missed so many, but believe me, I'm thankful for you all. Thank you again for allowing me to serve. Get emotional. I will always carry this experience, this community with me. Thank you.
Thank you, April. It really has been a pleasure to get to know you and to meet you and work with you. And it's not easy to be a volunteer member and a board member and at ConnectWatt. So thank you for your service. It is greatly appreciated. I have your flowers in my office because I left them there when I picked them up on my lunch, but I will drop them off to you tomorrow. Thank you again for your service. 3D printers, Ms. DiLorenzo.
So I sent an email back on May 12th just asking about the 3D printers because, let me actually go back to the email. I wanted to know the status because I heard we were purchasing new ones for all the buildings, and I love STEM. I mean, this is what I do at work. I love 3D printers, I love that, but I did ask if that was true, if we were getting them, and how we were going to be paying for for them if we were cutting programs instead?
So I know Mr. Hauser checked in with IT, and there were about 8 or 9 3D printers that were purchased this year through available funds this year. And then when this was kind of brought to our attention about potentially ordering even more, we put a pause to that. You know, so that's how many of, right, Mr. Hauser? Yeah. And were purchased, and we made sure that, you know, we want to secure as much fund balance as when this year closes as possible, so we put a pause to any additional purchases.
I had one thing. Okay. I just wanted to speak about AP research for a second. Ms. Poppy, if that's okay. So AP research right now is an elective that's tied to, I believe, social studies. Is there, like, would it make more sense to tie it to English as opposed to the social studies? Or can you explain why it's tied to social studies versus English?
Not a problem. So many moons ago, when we onboarded AP Capstone, which has 2 component features, AP Seminar and AP Research, as a district, we decided to seat AP Seminar within English and AP Research within Social Studies. There isn't a requirement in terms of a teacher certification. However, as the years have passed, we have grown teachers into sort of ownership roles within their respective coursework, right? So we have teachers who have been doing the work for some time, and I know we've made some adjustments along the way, but it's an idea that we haven't really sort of entertained. It's not that it would be off the table, it would be a larger conversation though.
So let me explain how this came to me. Sure. So there's a requirement to be in the English Art Society to take an elective. So there aren't many choices, and AP Research, I don't know if it would make sense to tie into the English department just because of, isn't it, you're doing literature, right?
You're doing qualitative or you're doing quantitative type research in different subject areas, and that's purely predicated upon student desire and student choice, right? The student has the ability to choose. But I think we can take that conversation somewhere else internally.
Okay.
Because the skill set is certainly ELA based. It's also social studies based, but there is a basis in the skill set that entire course revolves around.
Right, perfect. I just wanted to bring it out onto the table and see if we could brought it out of discussion. Thank you, I appreciate it. Ms. DeLonzo?
Yeah, so I had a few questions about, we received so many vacancy notices, of course, for summer curriculum writing. One of them, I just wanted to know what it meant. ELA grade 6 literature, I will always write that. What is that?
So the teachers who are working into that project will develop essentially a unit of study around a concept, a text. This happens to be a very specific posting because it is dedicated to this one singleton effort, right? So it's developing that unit of study around that concept.
Okay, because I didn't know what that was. It seemed so out of place in that.
Yes, it's got a little bit of a different title.
Okay, okay. And my other question too about the vacancy notices is a K-5 elementary math specialist. So I was just curious, refresh my memory, if we hired that, and is this something that used to be covered by the math director, which we now got rid of?
So yes, correct.
Okay.
So, and those math specialists will continue to be supervised by a director, right, through our restructuring and our reorganization. But they will have a direct supervisor who is somebody who is departmental as opposed to a building principal. So that's allowing for the cohesiveness of the program to continue.
Okay, and they'll be able to, I guess, do this without that, somebody specifically from math. Okay. And the other topic that I wanted to bring up, and this is definitely the last thing, is I want to just bring about a little bit more Thunderbird transparency, as I like to call it. Just to give an update, because of course, you know, things are still happening. And again, I cannot get specific with details of those one scenes, but again, finances, that is the taxpayer money. They have a right to know. So at the March 10th meeting, I had given an update, and at that point, it was $24,167,199.23. And there was all different numbers that were put together from a letter that was quoted in a Post article, and even the legal expenses. So from then, what I want to do is I wanted to just give the community an update of the legal fees that we have paid. Well, I didn't approve one of them tonight, but for me, to the lawyers that are handling this going forward, and that is $8,568. Those are from the legal bills from them, and I just want to put it out there that we had emails from them from February, and I wanted to know, I had asked back then what this wait and see what would happen, because we had the settlement that we did in September, then we were hit with the OCR Title VI violation in January. So the board decided, not necessarily me, I would rather go back to Thunderbird, the board decided that we wanted to, they wanted to wait and see what would happen between the state and the federal, and at that time, was discussed to maybe see what the cost would be up until August of 2027. And we were told that the legal fees from then to August 2027 shouldn't be more than $10,000. We've already hit $8,500. So I just want to put that out there. We're already almost at that $10,000. I don't know how much more it's going to cost, but I wanted to give an update to the community. The total spent with what was discussed back in March, plus this new amount is $24,175,767.23. That's all.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any topics?
I just really quick want to ask, can we look into, I don't know if this would be, because I've been asking since before I was on the board, similar to a comment we heard tonight, with board docs and being not exactly user-friendly. There are surrounding districts who actually just don't use a platform like that. They manage their own minutes. I know Brentwood's one of them, Hop is one of them, that they don't use board docs. They use it directly on the website, very quick. You want the minutes, here it is. Can we look into the possibility of what it would look like to move to something that's more like that? Because I just never, like, board docs doesn't allow me enough to continue to pay what we have to pay for it, when we might be able to just create templates for these things and do it that way. All right.
I will now open the floor for the second open public comment portion of the agenda. The rules are the same. Well, remember, right? Number 11 or number 1? You guys got your numbers right? Number 2?
Is there anybody?
No, there is. They just kept their numbers. 1, 2, 4, and 6 kept their numbers. So. Number 1? 2, 3.
Sorry, I'm back. I thank you for your shadow input and your service on the board. I appreciate it. So I just wanted to ask for some clarification, because I was a little confused. I've heard this twice on 2 separate occasions, that the work-based learning program is 100% in effect and there will be no cuts. And I was just wondering what source this is being cited from.
We are not reducing the program. So that's, the program.
That doesn't make any, well, with all due respect, that doesn't make sense. You are reducing the program.
No.
Cutting the available time is cutting the program. If you work a 9-hour day and you're asked to do that job in 6 hours, the job is going to change. This was a 3.5-hour meeting. If we were given 30% less time to conduct this meeting, the meeting would change.
I understand the point you're making. The feeling is that the employee directly involved has the availability within their schedule to take on some instructional responsibility on top of the work-based learning without it negatively impacting the program, which is absolutely not the intent.
Well, I know you said the feeling is, but I'm interested in the actual facts of how that's possible. Let me, if I may, does anyone know how many students the work-based learning program is open to?
It's open to all of them.
Right, that's a lot of students. So I'm sure the praise for the WBL program is appreciated, and it being such an impactful and effective program, I'm sure it's deserved. But how can you praise it and its quality and then assume that it will be possible to maintain the same standard given a 30% reduction in time? And let me say this again, as a teacher, I don't know if there are any teachers in the room or on the board, teaching 2 classes and a prep, it's not just the time spent in the class, it's all the ancillary things that you have to do. It's meeting with students who are in the class, it's then meeting with students who are in the work-based learning program. So, when I spoke to the coordinator of the work-based learning program, what I was told is that to dial back the program, in essence, would be asking her to decide which careers and which students would be served. And since that's not really feasible, what would be cut is the career exploration branch. And that includes the job shadowing, guest speakers, industry and business tours with professionals, and mentoring from professionals. I mean, with all due respect, again, this is just common sense. You're asking someone who was hired for a full-time position. This position was made full-time so that they could take over. And then they grew this program over 5 years to a point that it's so impressive that it's getting all this praise and recognition. But then the person is asked to do the same amount of job while taking on additional responsibilities. And I think that's making it sound a little underwhelming. And asked to do that job too. So you're not just reducing the time, you're reducing the time and increasing, and you're adding a partition to someone's day.
Thank you. We do appreciate your feedback.
So in closing, if I may, I would urge the board to maybe reach out, hopefully, to Mr. Kassane or Mrs. Rapone so you understand and get a better sense, because I don't know if you do, the gravity and impact that this is going to have on the high school, the students, and the community.
Thank
All right,
you.
thank you.
I
Thank you
appreciate
again. All right, have a good night, guys.
Thank you. Number 4, 5.
Don't talk that time yet. Just before I speak, I'm just gonna let you know, I'm gonna talk really fast. There's a bunch of things I wanna say, then you talk to me after. And also before it starts, congratulations, April. It's been so long, I know you're so long, so happy for you. I know it's bittersweet with the youngest graduating, but it's all good things, so I want to say congratulations. And
Go. Start with time.
okay, so the swimming, Farmingdale, Sayville, Freeville, Chicksville, they do community swimming, and from what I understand, it's covered in the district standard municipal public facility liability policy, so there's the insurance thing. The other thing, radio communication is important, it's not superfluous. It is, as someone who does actually know what that does and does need that in their daily work life and has for many years, I know what it's like to not have that communication. And sometimes you do things in the event something is needed, not just because you're needed all the time, but I support the radio upgrade. If you're looking to find the bids, Sarah, that you had mentioned, like past bids, you can go on BidNet Direct, and I'll tell you all the past bids and the current bids. There was something at a board meeting on 12/14/21. I don't think it's the same thing, but that was their recommendation to participate in the town of Islip two-way radio system maintenance and equipment. I don't know if that's the same thing. I don't have great service in here, I just looked it up super quick. Since scholarship isn't working well, what other services have we added? Have we added any of the things that scholarship offers? Like, I know we can hold disciplinary records or your personal business, because that's problematic, and everyone's talking about eSchool. Well, all of your kids' personal stuff is on eSchool. We're switching to Move. When we did the school budget, did we budget for Move, or we were just like, oh, I guess we'll figure it out, because that's a concern, so I don't even know if we have money for that. Thank you very much to the tech department. I love that they came. They're spectacular, they're knowledgeable, but I'm very curious why scholarship stopped working and not one admin from that high school came here to say, hey, we got a problem, we need something, this is problematic. I don't understand why not one admin came to any of these meetings to say, something's a mess, we gotta do something with this, because that's concerning. And you said that Move is more enhanced. What exactly do you mean by that? Because I looked at it quick, and it does do some cool things, like if you check in to be a visitor, it does a background check, checks to see if you're a sex offender, if you have a criminal record. I think those are fine things for me. I've been background checked numerous times, I have no issue. That is something you should also let parents know if they're coming and stuff. And it does flag for custody issues and things like that, which are very, very important. Let's see. Oh, and the most important thing, why does it seem like the board is never informed of anything? This is like a bizarre thing to me. I appreciate very much, I'm not blaming anyone, I appreciate that they're being diligent, I genuinely do, I'm a question asker, obviously. But we gotta vote for things that are required by law, like school busing for ESY is required by law. We can't not have the buses, and it's things that we're doing this under duress, so we don't really know what we're doing with that. So whatever's going on, the board, everybody should be informed. Not, we shouldn't be, I appreciate the question asking, I want to know the information, it is important to the public, but now we're holding up votes continually over and over and over again because, and rightly so, if you don't have the information, you shouldn't just be blindly voting, but something has to change with that because it's affecting the students and that's problematic. Thank you.
So we are not moving to Move. We are keeping scholarship because we weren't properly informed and we didn't have the decision to make we didn't have the information to make the decision on time. I believe people were told that scholarship was being cut or not working or whatever. We were not.
Well, that's what I'm saying, so.
100%. So
why wouldn't you come if you were in charge of something? Why wouldn't you come immediately and be like, hey, my stuff's not working, this is a big issue? Like, I would.
Agreed. So
I just wanted to say for the record, the high school did go to administration and IT immediately. We were not informed, but
right, that's what I said. I said administration did make us correct. That is a problem. Thank you. Number 6.
Hello again. Two things. For item K, recommended personnel matters under non-instructional. Number 65, I need some clarity if that was a new hire in HR in a clerical position, or was that person just given, they're currently working and given more work? I don't want to say the person's name.
So the individual that you have there listed is retiring effective July 17th. She is being asked to come back and help train the person that is replacing her. Although the HR department will be down one clerical, and the board approved her to come in for 10 days at her daily rate, which is a typical thing that we do when somebody leaves, and then somebody needs to come in and train the person who's going to take over.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. I just need clarity on that, and I think it's a great thing. As far as the Budget Advisory Committee, Dr. Sidori, you might consider sending out to the 40 people who volunteered if they have any questions in the meantime, so that when we meet for the first time, we get a sense of what they want to know, and maybe we can have some of that information ready, perhaps. If you think it's prudent. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Number 7.
Anybody else? All right. We are going back into exec, ladies and gentlemen, so I'd like a motion and a second to enter into executive session to discuss employment history of particular employees, contractual negotiations, and receive advice from the court's attorney.
Motion. Second.
We are not going back out, so thank you, everyone. Good night.